The Angry Chicken is a production of Amove TV. Bookmark amove.tv for more gaming and esports shows. The Angry Chicken is directly supported by listeners like you via patreon.com/TAC.
Everyone, get in here! Ready for action! I've got the beast in my sight.
A podcast about Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft. This is The Angry Chicken.
Greetings, welcome back, and I hope you're comfortable because this episode of The Angry Chicken is going to probably be even longer than the last one. Hi, everybody. I'm Garrett Weinzerl, here as always with Willie Dills Gregory and Jocelyn Carney.
There you go.
I didn't pause for Moffat. I paused because I've always said your now husband's last name in my head as Kearney, but I know that's wrong. I know it's wrong.
I love
it's
that
Carney.
This is just going to be like the joke off the top of the show for the next 5 years?
Well, now it's going to be a thing.
How long do you think it's going to take, Garrett?
It's going to take a while. I'm going to put a spotlight on it because it's all people want to talk about on Twitter.
Sure.
Yeah. I'll stop talking about it when they stop talking about it and realize that when you do something 300 times, it takes a little while to change it. So.
Yes, we're all here. Hooray! Cards.
Huzzah! There's so many cards to talk about. So many cards, in fact, that much like last week, I would like to kick the episode off by thanking all of you supporting us and our Patreon, because patreon.com/TAC, that's how you support this thing. I don't know if you know this, folks, but you didn't pay for this episode. Podcasts, most of them, are free. Unless you're really famous, and we ain't that famous. So it's coming to you free. And the way you support the show, if you want to, is heading on over to patreon.com/TAC and chipping in $1, chipping in $2, maybe $5 if you really like what we're doing. Whatever works for you works for us, and every little bit helps. So thank you for supporting us, everybody, because when there's this many cards, you're the reason. You're the reason that we get to not go to a day job or take an extra piece of freelance or contract work so we can show up and actually sit here and talk about all these freaking cards. So thank you for the support. If you're not supporting us, consider it. And to some of our newer patrons, thank you to Spencer J., Corey P., and Jerome S. We thank you in the order that you sign up. If you haven't been thanked yet, it's coming. So let's dive straight into it. And we're going to be going essentially class by class. If you're watching this being like, hey, you missed a card, it means it came out after I opened Photoshop. So, yeah. We're starting with Druid. A lot of Druid cards since we last got together, but a lot of them seem to be playing towards the same theme. And that theme is, well, it's healing. Healing for Druid. Let's start off with Crystal Power, a 1-mana common Druid spell that reads choose 1, deal 2 damage to a minion, or restore 5 health.
Can we just talk for a minute about how amazing it is that it's restore 5 health and not gain 5 armor?
Yeah.
Because I am so glad that they didn't lean into armor gain again.
Druid is still going to have plenty of armor gain, though, aren't they?
I know they still have some, but at least all of these restore 5 health things aren't armor based.
Sure. Yeah. The armor thing was weird for Druids because they never really had a way to utilize it. It was just a lot of extra health gain for the class that never was capped, right? And that was just very frustrating. It seems like they're kind of like, let's dial that back a little bit and make it just pure healing. But the fact is there's payoffs for it, so.
There are payoffs for it, but it means the Druid has to actually take damage. So they're going to have to kind of make a choice whether they want to jump on this health train or whether they want to go the armor way, because if they're healing without actually gaining any effective health, then that's obviously a waste. So I think that it's going to make for some interesting decisions in Druid, which they haven't really had to make decisions, right? They've just been like, I gain 8 health, I gain 7 health, I gain health. And
they're not going to play armor stuff if they're trying to heal for sure.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So there's decisions to be made there instead of just Ferocious Howl auto include, you know?
Right. And also, this is a choose one card, so I feel the need to remind everyone we've already seen Keeper Steladris, so yeah, keep that.
So if you had
mind.
Steladris out, you played this, you'd essentially have a 1 mana deal 2 and a 1 mana heal for 5.
Yeah, you would
5.
still get to do whatever it is you wanted to do when you originally cast your Crystal Power, so you get to choose one and have that happen, but then you get a copy of each option of this card put back in your hand.
And those are pretty solid, honestly.
Yeah.
Like that to me, this is a card that Steladris definitely works with, right? So I like it. I think this is just a solid, like, it's fair. It's not like, I think the Spellstone is cool, but sometimes it was so frustrating when you're like, wow, 1 mana just killed my guy, and it wasn't really that hard for you because you also drew cards while gaining armor, and now you just murdered my dudes.
Yeah, they weren't really sacrificing anything. You bring that's such a good point.
Yeah. It wasn't difficult for you. Like the Warlock Spellstone was somewhat difficult to do, right? They had to actually take damage.
And not with their hero power.
Yeah. The Druid one, not so freaking hard to do. So it was one of the reasons why the Hunter Spellstone was too powerful too, is because it was just like, yeah, I just played 2 secrets and then look at this thing. It's fully charged up. This is like, I think how Druid removal should probably look. Is it's limited. It's not like just kill a guy. That's supposed to be a weakness for them, is killing a guy. So here you go. Deal 2. That's not going to kill a lot of guys. It's going to kill some guys. But yeah, I like this card a lot. I think it's in the pocket.
Yep.
Oh, you know what's funny though is people are going to play this in Wild and with Fandral out, and they're going to deal 2 damage to something and then heal it for 5. That's going to be hilarious.
Oh, that's because restore
it's targeted. It doesn't say like to your hero or anything. Yeah.
yeah, it's to whatever you aim it at.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is also it is an interesting thing, because with a lot of these Druid cards that are restoring health, like the keyword on the real big one that works with this is restore 5 health. Like you don't have to heal your hero, but still.
Yeah, you could put it on a minion too.
You could put it on minions.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and jump out of order and talk about Lucent Bark, which is an 8 mana 4/8 legendary Druid minion with taunt. It also has a death rattle, which reads, go dormant, restore 5 health to awaken this minion. So Sherazane? What was the plan? Sherazin.
Sherazin.
Yeah, Sherazin for Rogue. It's awesome play. And so if I had just seen Lucent Bark by itself, I would be like, well, Druid needs more way to heal, but they're getting quite a few ways to heal with the cards that have been revealed since our last episode, and Crystal Power and Crystal Stag, which I haven't talked about yet, both restore 5 health specifically. So both of these cards would just awaken Lucent Bark immediately.
Yeah, and I mean, the fact that it has taunt is the important.
Or sorry,
thing
Crystal Stag has a trigger off of 5 health.
Yeah, Crystal Stag is
if you've restored health, but
it's a payoff card. Yeah. But this card right here, it's like the fact that it has taunt is the important thing, because an 8 mana 4/8 obviously sucks, right?
Yeah.
But an 8 mana 4/8 with taunt that protects your face while you play it for the first time, while you actually go out of pocket for this thing, that's okay because you're not gonna die, right? Then what you could start doing is, Faceless Manipulator. You could play the Gloops, whatever thing that copies minions on both sides. You could do all sorts of things to, what is it, Gloop Sprayer? Anyway, you could do all sorts of things to like make more of these, and then pretty easily you can heal yourself and have an army of 4/8 taunts that don't die. And then you can
I'm glad they're playing.
Roar them and kill somebody.
Yeah, I'm glad that they're playing around with the idea of dormant a little bit more, instead of just like I kill a thing and it's out of play. So
it's cool, yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's an expendable minion, right? You could just trade into something big with a couple of these, then heal, and then they're back, right? Like there's just
and that's kind of like
you can do.
2 parts of the same sort of play style, right? Like you want to protect your face, you want to heal your face. Like it's a sit back and be a little bit more defensive kind of a play style. So it's nice that they go so well together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think this card is sweet. This is like this is the way I like to see legendaries designed. It's like it's an awesome kind of build around card, but it doesn't mean like if I drew this I win, if I didn't draw it I lose. It's just like it's got this cool effect. But it's not like, oh, I ought to win. Here's Frostless Jaina. It's like, here's Lucent Bark. Now I've kind of put you on a clock, right? And I've kind of like locked down the board because I could just keep bringing this thing back. So yeah, it's dope. Plus, by the way, we don't just need these spells that heal. There's still a bunch of lifesteal minions that are going to be left over in standard. So.
And Druid's getting some new ones thanks to cards like Dreamway Guardians, which is a 2-mana rare Druid spell, which summons 2 1/2 Dryads with Lifesteal. So Druid has already found success with tokens in the past. Here's a pretty strong token generator that puts 2 tokens out onto the field that already have Lifesteal on them.
It's 2 Fireflies with Lifesteal for the price of a Firefly and the Flame Elemental, right?
Yeah, and Lucent Bark, that 5 health being restored doesn't have to happen all at once. It can happen incrementally.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. By the way, we should also talk about Life Weaver, 3-mana 2/5. Whenever you restore health, add a random Druid spell to your hand, because literally you curve the Dreamway into the Life Weaver, and you suddenly got like a curve that's tempo based and value based.
Yeah, also, a 3-mana 2/5 is nuts. But Life Weaver also, you're probably gonna have one of these 1/2 Dryads left on the field on your next turn. So Life Weaver hits the
hard
board.
To kill both of them, right? On 2. So
yeah, I mean, think about how long Flame Elementals hung around in this entire year, and we've had some power. So. That being
said,
the
way you do this is you crystallize her on 1, right? The 1/3 that deals 5 damage and gains 5 armor. So you crystallize yourself on 1, take damage. You play the 1/2s on 2. Now you're damaged and you got healing, and then on 3 you Life Weaver and you run them both in and you gain 2 cards. Just 2. Here's 2 more Druid spells. Holy crap!
Go nuts!
Yeah, that's awesome.
Cool.
I mean, that's a game-winning curve, right? If you can just start the game that way.
Yeah,
and that probably won't be that hard to.
Which doesn't involve actually like getting ahead in mana. Like,
I know, right?
You don't have to cheat mana to do this super cool thing in the early game. So they're just gonna be on turn 3 when you're on turn 3. What?
Yeah, I doubt actually that this type of Druid would even run Wild Growth or, I mean, Nourish maybe, but like really, you're just gonna be trying to play stuff out on curve, right? You're going to try to keep up with your opponent in a real way.
I feel personally impatient about Lucent Bark. Like, I'm looking at that, like, I just want to amass an army of these stupid giant trees and thinking to myself, well, I've got Crystal Power and Dreamway Guardians. I've got all this healing happening early on. I'd like to get my Lucent Bark out and so I can start bringing it back. But you're right. Just the curve you just described, it's fine in its own right. That's a nice opener. Plus, on top of all of this, with Crystal Power and Dreamway Guardians giving you inherent healing, Life Weaver, already a card I would be looking at with 2 attack, 5 health for only 3 mana, being like, oh, that's not bad in Arena. But there's also healing cards that you're probably going to also pick up in Arena as a Druid. So it's not, it's good. I like this a lot.
Yeah, and then on 4, you can probably just heal it again because it's probably not dead, because the 2/5. It might not be able to like trade into something and kill it, but it'll trade into something, take some damage, then you can heal the Life Weaver.
Yeah, but my brain also starts going down a token road. I start thinking about buffing things again because I've got these 1/2 Dryads.
Sure.
You know what would be cooler than that? Any larger stats on those Dryads would be really rad. So Life Weaver may also, because of the way token Druids have played out in the past, will probably end up buffed itself. So.
Yeah, just it seems cool. Like we in the past we've seen Blizzard be like, here's Beast Druid, here's Tree Druid, here's this kind of Druid. And you're like, no, stop. I'm just to make myself big Druid and kill you. We like never do the Druid that they try to get us to do. I actually feel like this might be a thing. I don't know. Maybe I said that about Tree Druid, but this looks a little more promising to me.
Yeah, this kind of feels like it just fits more naturally into Druid and what Druid is trying to do. It's like it's not trying to be pushed down any one way. It just kind of fits and feels Druidy, like it fits in with all the, like some of these cards almost feel like they could just be like basic classic Druid cards.
Yeah. I think it's funny that, we do talk about, Druid could do everything, but think about Druid in World of Warcraft, right? Like they kind of can do everything. So it does kind of make sense that that's the way they do it, but they should not do everything and then do it better than other classes, right? Like armor gain better than a warrior. Like that doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah.
But like there was never really a resto Druid, and now we've kind of got that, right?
Yeah.
This is kind of cool.
Yeah. Let's actually talk about Crystal Stag. This is the card I incorrectly described earlier as restoring 5 health. It's a 5-mana 4/4 epic Druid beast with rush and a battle cry that reads, if you've restored 5 health this game, summon a copy of this. So, Crystal Power makes that very easy to make happen. So you're probably going to be putting 2 4/4s out into the board when you play this.
with
For 5
rush.
mana,
Rush.
With rush.
With rush. That's the important thing. You'll be able to like kill 2 things.
Do you think that this card came up and Lucent Bark and in a meeting somewhere for card design, whoever usually goes to bat for Priest just goes, okay, guys, we need to give Priest something to deal with 4 attack minions. This is silly.
Yeah, right. Yeah, this just seems solid. This is a really nice payoff for all this Healy stuff, right? So that's the thing you always kind of look for. It's like, okay, cool, Healy stuff. What are my payoffs?
Yeah,
because payoffs are being able to play 5 mana for 8/8 worth of stats and be able to instantly affect the board with them. That's a sweet payoff.
Yeah, again, because Lucent Bark is that card. It gets me excited, but I'm looking at it like, ooh, that's a slow turn 8. How do I get there?
Get there, right?
How do I get there? And I think Crystal Stag is how you get there.
Hell yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just the problem is, do you lose the board while you wait for this kind of stuff to happen? Crystal Stag says no. Crystal Stag says I'm ahead, and I stay ahead.
Crystal Stag says my antlers are crystals. Your argument is invalid.
And it matches his rarity, which makes me weirdly happy.
Oh my God, you're right. It is like the exact same purple as the epic gem on cards, which Crystal Stag is rocking, which means it's going to be kind of expensive to make 2 of these if it turns out to be as good as I'm hoping it'll be.
I think it's going to be pretty good.
Let's get off the healing synergy for Druids for just a second with the only other Druid card we haven't talked about, which is Crystal Song Portal. This is a 2-mana epic Druid spell that reads, discover a Druid minion. If your hand has no minions, keep all 3. Eat your heart out, Hunter.
I have no idea how to evaluate this card because I don't know if there's going to be a Druid deck that doesn't run a lot of minions. And if there is, then hell yeah, 2 mana, get 3 minions is sweet. But yeah, if not, then...
Yeah, is 2 mana discover a minion good enough?
By itself, yeah.
By itself.
Probably not. I do look at it and think Arena will be a sweet top deck, right? When you're both out of cards and you're just like, hey, refill.
Oh, that would be so
that kind
nasty.
of thing. It'll be cool. But yeah, it's like I don't know, a minionless Druid, or at least a low minion
Druid.
Yeah.
I think.
I don't know. That seems iffy to me.
This makes me go conspiracy theory because I look at Keeper Stiladris, who's specifically about choose 1 spells, not just choose 1 cards, and things like Crystal Power and Dreamer Guardians. And I'm just like, are they sending us down a spell Druid journey? Like maybe not this expansion, but what about expansion number 2, expansion number 3 this year? Or are they just going to keep giving us valuable Druid spells where at a certain point we're sitting there going, maybe I could make a spell Druid deck work?
Well, right now they've given us 4 minions and 4 spells. So I don't know. It just doesn't feel like there's going to be that to me personally. And also, you don't really fit this into like a big Druid that wouldn't run that many minions, right? Because you're essentially not discovering Druid minions at that point. You're just given 3 random Druid minions. If you're playing like a big Druid type thing, you just run specific minions that do specific things. So I don't know. This just feels like kind of like a filler card for now, and then maybe at some point later on down the line,
I was going to say maybe by the time we have, by the end of the year when we have that bigger card pool, maybe we'll have enough Druid spells to make a go of this. I don't think it needs to be all Druid spells, but you're right. Like,
or if there's a payoff for like the Spell Hunter thing, right? There's payoffs for not running minions. If there's something like that, then sure. But right now it's like, no, seems like a arena refill.
Yeah,
and then standard is like, this isn't powerful enough for me.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Hunter, let's go ahead and move over there and talk about the new Hunter cards since last episode. First up is Mark's Shot. It's a 4-mana common Hunter spell that reads, deal 4 damage to a minion, discover a spell. Doesn't have to overkill. Just deal 4 damage to a minion.
We're losing all the Spell Hunter stuff, so we just
losing Zul'jin, right?
We're not losing Zul'jin, but we're losing like the Rock Dalar and the 2 by side and the stuff that means like don't run any minions, right?
Yeah.
We're losing that stuff. Obviously, with Zul'jin, like this happening again and discovering a spell and all that, that's cool. It just seems like 4 mana to deal 4 is just too fair, even if I'm discovering a spell. But
I'm with you.
Maybe.
What about, it's solid for Arena, right? It's removal. It generates another card.
That's true. In Arena, I will pick the hell out of this card for sure. because like I just need to be able to kill stuff, right? And this kills stuff. But yeah, the thing is like most of the time when you kill, like the flanking strike is so good because it puts a 3/3 in play, right? And this puts a card in your hand, and it might be a really good card, and that's sweet. But like the turn you do it, you're not like flipping the board in any meaningful way. You're not generating the tempo in the way that something like flanking strike does. So with flanking strike still around, this probably doesn't see play, right?
Yeah, I don't really.
Yeah,
I don't think
so.
it will. No,
Yeah.
unless because we still have 2 more hunter cards to come. Unless we get another card that's like, hey, here's a super cool payoff thing for not having.
Oh, is flanking rotating? I thought flanking was sticking around. I thought it was fairly recent. Maybe maybe it's rotating. If flanking is rotating, then sure, maybe you need the slot.
There you go. So yeah, flanking gone. Then sure, yeah.
Okay, flanking is rotating apparently. All right,
It's Cobalt.
I'm going to get that wrong a million times, by the way,
Yeah,
guys.
it's hard to keep track of every.
Well, especially when the latest expansion that's about to come out is just a mashup of every expansion up until this point.
Sure.
Like I no longer know. Plus, I always assumed flanking straight was Witchwood because I'm like, oh, it's a creepy wolf. There were so many wolves happening in Witchwood. Like, and it's like, oh yeah, there's a kobold in the photo. I never think about what the spell art looks like. I think about what happens after I cast the spell.
Also, I play a lot of Wild where nothing is rotating.
Yes, yeah.
I don't even think in terms of rotating that
Dude,
much anymore.
I've gone on a wild kick recently. I'm really enjoying it.
It's fun. It's crazy.
I'm not being original. I'm playing like Pirate Rogue and Demon Warlock, but holy crap, Demon Warlock's so much fun.
I really want to just let my Wild rank decay, but that means not playing Wild for a long time because my favorite part of Wild is like rank 20.
Well, I will tell you, as
love it
someone
down
who
there.
just went from rank 25 Wild to rank 18 in like a sitting, it gets pretty nuts pretty fast. Like
Yeah, there's just all sorts of weird decks down there. And the problem is that at rank 4 where I'm at, everyone is just try-harding the most aggro thing ever. It's like,
see,
come on, man.
like, the second I broke past 20, it was like, oh, look, Exodia Mage.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I don't even see that. It's just the Pirate Rogue, the Mech Hunter, and like the Secrets Kill You Mage. It's like, that's all it is. And I'm like, I'm trying to play weird Shutterwalky stuff, guys. Like, what are you doing?
Let me have my fun.
But yeah, okay. So Flanking Strike rotating, maybe Mark Shot then has a place because you need something on 4 to kill stuff. I don't know. I still feel like, oh, there's also the Varisa Wild Runner or Wind Runner we should maybe bring up because this is a damage-based spell, which we were saying Hunter doesn't have that many of.
Yeah,
Right.
which
Thoradal,
Thoradal,
6.
yeah, Thoradal, the bow that Varisa gives you +2 spell damage after your hero attacks for that turn. So yeah, I mean, Mark Shot would be doing 6 damage and discovering a spell, so it's not the end of the world. But again, yeah, I mean, this is where it gets difficult. Like the Druid, that was a really clear synergy. Like we're looking at those cards, it's very easy to tell how those cards work together. But something like this, Mark Shot, and talking about how it works with Thoradal, after we just got out of Spell Hunter, like, and it worked so well for so long, it's really hard for my brain to kind of apply the brakes and give like that kind of discussion its fair due. I'm like, oh, but it's so much worse than what we were doing. Yeah, but I can't do that anymore in Standard.
Sure.
So, anyway, Shimmerfly is next. It's a 1-mana 1/1 rare hunter beast with a death rattle that reads, add a random hunter spell to your hand. So
that seems solid.
More spells too. What was that?
That seems very solid. Put a 1-mana 1/1 in play. It's a beast, and then when it dies, I get a refund essentially on it as a card. The thing is, like, we're losing like the Dire Mole Crackling Razor Maw opener thing that we've had for so long in Hunter. So something has to replace that if you're still going to try to play like a Master's Call style Hunter. In fact, this is a beast is sweet because obviously that means you can play it in a Master's Call deck. But I don't know what you're going to be doing on 2 to like make this sweeter. But I don't know. It's like Web Spinner was always like a good card, right? It seems just like
I mean, it saw a ton of play. Hell, you could probably go back to, I guess, the first Standard rotation when we lost Web Spinner, and I bet one of us was like, they have to replace this, right? Little did we know it was going to be like 4 years until they finally replaced Web Spinner.
So we still got Spring Paw, and now we'll have Shimmerfly. So when we still got stuff to do on 1, it's just how do we utilize it on 2, I guess will be the question. And I guess that'll probably be Hyenas.
I have a lot of questions about Hunter with the new cards because I'm still looking at Oblivitron being like, I mean, you're a cool card, but it's like summon a mech from your hand and trigger its Death Rattle. What mechs with Death Rattles are we playing with here? We still have.
There is I did bring up Mecha'thun getting it wrong about the fact that its Death Rattle would activate and work, but it's still a 6 mana put a Mecha'thun in play and then have 4 mana to play with to, do stuff with, right? Because like you could 6 mana this out, kill it, Mecha'thun's in play. Now I actually didn't pay 10 for the Mecha'thun. So
and if
there's still that.
If that Mecha'thun dies, then right at the end of the game, you can play out everything, kill your whole board, and only have 9 lives left, and then discover the Mecha'thun, trigger its Death Rattle. Ha!
I mean, it's just
with 9 lives, which we haven't mentioned yet. So yeah, that's what 9 lives does. It's a 3 mana new hunter spell that's coming. So it's discover a Death Rattle minion that died this game, also triggers Death Rattle. It's just that Polymorph still exists, Hex still exists. I guess that's it though, right? As far as things that would ruin your Mecha'thun plans in that way.
Yeah, because even if they silenced it, that wouldn't matter.
The silencing was irrelevant. Yeah,
they'd have to transform it.
They would have to transform it, but it's still like that's enough. Like I guess it would, but at the same time, it's like, are people gonna be running Polymorph and Hex? Obviously, if Mecha'thun Hunter takes off, then the answer becomes yes. But
but that's only 2 classes that you have to worry about. I don't know. People are gonna mess with it. It's not gonna be top tier. But 9 lives will probably be top tier because this card is sweet.
Yeah, and I think that just in general, the road that Hunter's probably going to go down is Death Rattle, I think.
Well, if you 9 lives, though, you'll have to play specific Death Rattles, right? Kind of like what you do now with the Katharina stuff.
Oh man, Katharina would be so good with this.
Yeah, I know we're losing Katharina, right?
Yeah.
Well, have fun in Wild,
that's
I guess.
Fine.
Yeah, that's in Wild. Yeah.
In this.
You don't need it, but oh damn.
In Wild though, oh my god. I look at this card and I'm immediately just like, oh yes. There's so many cool things I could do with Death Rattle Hunter in Wild. And I could play The Undertaker too. Oh yeah. What do you say,
No.
Again, I'm just like railing against the idea of Mecha'thun Hunter because I'm just like, well, then I just don't care about my hero power. Because if I'm just gonna eventually play a card that wins the game, what is my hero power doing for me?
Nothing.
Thank you.
You're not pushing it.
Thank you.
You're not pushing that hero power.
Yeah, it's just it's interesting. But yeah, 9 lives, very cool card. Honestly, I like all 3 of these cards. Mark Shot's probably the one I'm the least excited about, but as we already pointed out, really solid arena card. But Shimmerfly, a great addition to 9 lives, just super cool. Seeing resurrection effects being brought into Hunter, very cool. And this isn't tied to mech specifically, so this has a much wider pool of cards that you can actually play with. Versus
I look at this and I think like in Wild, like Sylvanas. I just like instantly play Sylvanas and steal something from you at the same time for 3 mana. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I look at this card and I'm instantly just
my Wild Windrunner Hunter deck is going to be so good.
Be so into it. I'm looking forward to it. Share that deck list as soon as you make it, Jocelyn.
Oh, I will.
Well, before we move on, we have a sponsor to thank today, and it is Quip. They're back with their awesome electric toothbrushes. You can go to getquip.com/TAC right now. Check out their offerings. You'll also get your first refill pack for free. But if you're unfamiliar with them, Quip was designed to make brushing your teeth more simple, affordable, and I know it sounds crazy, even enjoyable. That's right. I think this is true, by the way. I really like my Quip toothbrush. It's kind of nerdy, but I get excited about using it. And I'm particularly excited about it right now because I'm leaving tomorrow. I have to get on a plane and go out to a conference, and I'm slumming it with my old travel toothbrush tonight because I have already packed my Quip toothbrush because I don't want to forget it. It's already become such a staple of my morning and evening routine. Yeah, that's right. I brush my teeth twice a day.
Whoa. Rebel.
Yeah, and it's super easy. They got this. It comes with a multi-use cover mount that you can just use as a holder when you're home. But then you just turn it the other way, and it's this nice little travel cover, and it's great for on the go brushing. I love it. On top of that, it's really convenient because they deliver brush heads to you automatically on a dentist recommended schedule every 3 months for just $5. Get rid of your nasty old worn out brushes, man. Just have them show up at your doorstep ready to use. It's fantastic. And that's why I love it. That's why I really like my Quip toothbrush. It's just super convenient. I'm going to be taking it with me to another state for crying out loud. And that's why they're backed by over 20,000 dental professionals. Go check it out. They start at just $25. And if you go to getquip.com/TAC right now, you can get your first refill pack for free with a Quip electric toothbrush. Again, that's your first refill pack for free when you go over to getquip.com/TAC. You still playing with your like sticky holder on your mirror there, Dills?
Oh yeah. No, I got one in the shower, one on the mirror in the bathroom. So no matter where I'm at, there's a Quip ready to go. By the way, the other thing that they do is they don't, when you buy toothpaste and then you read the back and it says, put like 5 pounds on your toothbrush to brush your teeth. And you're like, that seems like a lot. And they're like, no, that's how much you're supposed to use. The Quip thing was like pea-sized amount is the correct amount. The toothpaste people are trying to get you so you buy more toothpaste. I understand. It's a good business plan. The Quip people are being honest with you. They're like, this single tube will last you the entirety, the full 3 months or whatever until we send you the new stuff.
They're very true. They're very honest. I was looking at the tube being like, this seems like a bad marketing strategy. You should tell me use as much as you can possibly fit.
Yeah.
But
no, the pea-sized amount is the right amount. And I'm going to say pea-sized several more times.
We appreciate their support, and we thank you for going to getquip.com/TAC. Go check it out. Now let's get back into it and take a look at the Mage cards that have come out since our last episode, starting with Ray of Frost, a 1 mana common mage spell. It has Twin Spell, and it reads, freeze a minion. If it's already frozen, deal 2 damage to it. Are we like back in like classic like Hearthstone here? This feels really old school to me with these freezing mechanics, minus Twin Spell, of course.
Well, this is the way I think freeze should work. I hate the board wide freeze. I honestly wish they would just go away. I think it's stupid.
Dude, I hit that Exodia Mage immediately upon hitting rank 20 in Wild, and I forgot how horrible just the chain freezes into Ice Block can be.
Yeah, it's just really frustrating to just have your entire board just not matter for the next turn or whatever. It's I just don't like it. Like individual freezing is very cool, and it's like a specific way. It's like a stall mechanic, and it works the way I feel like freezing should work. And this to me is cool because it's like, okay, I can decide I just need to freeze this giant this turn and next turn so that it doesn't hit me for 16, and then eventually I'll be able to deal with it. Or I could decide I need to deal 2 damage to a thing right now. So I go pop, pop, and then it's dead, right, or whatever. Like the fact that I can decide how to utilize this, because when I looked at Twin Spell in like the Druid card, I immediately thought, well, it's just kind of a bad card that I get to play twice, right? And I look at this, I'm like, well, it's 1 mana, so it doesn't matter if the card is not that great on its own. It's 1 mana. It's not asking a lot of me this turn. It's just like giving me like one more little utility thing. So yeah, I think it's a cool card. I also, we're not losing Archmage Antonitis anytime soon. So yeah, this with Sorcerer's Apprentice and an Archmage out there, and that's a couple quick fireballs. So,
I'm so glad Mana Worm got nerfed.
Like, oh my god, right?
Could you imagine Mana Worm with this card?
Mana Worm on 1, and then double Ray of Frost on 2, and suddenly you got 3/3 punching people in the face, and your guys are frozen.
Can't deal with because their board's frozen.
Yep. Yeah. But that being said, there's also another good early game minion that was revealed alongside Ray of Frost, Mana Cyclone. This is a 2-mana 2/2 epic mage elemental with a battle cry that reads, for each spell you've cast this turn, add a random mage spell to your hand. So now you're looking at Ray of Frost being like, do I really want to spend 2 mana to freeze it and then also deal 2 damage to it if I have to? Well, like there's added value with this new Mana Cyclone.
Yeah, that's pretty sick because if I cast 2 Ray of Frost and then I cast Mana Cyclone, I just get 2 free spells. It's like, I mean, I'm just never running out of value. It really feels like the whole expansion is super value oriented, right? Yeah. Because like this is like the perfect example of that. It's like, here, just never run out of stuff. Neither of you guys are ever going to run out of stuff to do. You're not going to be killing each other very quickly. Never running out of stuff.
You'll be doing stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, just getting 1 spell, you're paying it 2 mana for a 2/2. It's not that bad of a deal. And if you just get 1 spell, you're fine. If you get 2 spells, sweet. Like you're super in the positive. If you get 3, holy crap. Like, so yeah, this card is insane. It's losing a bunch of the elemental synergies, by the way, because Ngoro's rotating, right? But
yeah. But it doesn't need them to be good because of spells like Ray of Frost. This is going to be very easy value to take advantage of. I mean, a 2/2 for 2, that's not something you want to just drop down on curve and be like, I'm good. But it's cheap enough that you can easily combine it with other spells.
If you need to, but you'd prefer not to.
Right.
It's kind of sweet. Like, coin this out on 1 and then you just get a free spell.
Oh, yeah.
Turn the coin into something else.
Well, wait. Because it's this turn. Doesn't have to be on the board already. It's a battle cry. Yeah.
Coin it out on 1 and just turn the coin into a spell. Sweet. There's just stuff you could do, right?
You got a 2/2. Yep. Yeah. Other cheap spells. Magic Trick was also revealed. It's a 1-mana rare mage spell that just reads discover a spell that costs 3 or less.
Weird.
Wouldn't I just want to put that spell into my deck?
Probably.
Instead of playing 1 mana to find it?
But Mana Cyclone gives you Magic Trick, and now you have your option of random spells off of Cyclone, which is awesome.
Yeah, you're going to get that, and then you're going to get the 1 mana to put a random mage spell in your hand, the thing that they added when they put a bunch of stuff in the Hall of Fame. Like, that kind of stuff is going to get generated by Mana Cyclone. That's where you'll see it. You're not going to, put this in the deck from your collection.
I'm putting it in because I just now noticed the art is a goblin doing the stupid move your index finger using your thumb trick. I love it.
He's
got it's hilarious.
Is that what he's doing? I was like, I didn't realize that. I thought
the stupid trick your uncle did to you ever seen.
I didn't understand. I'm like, why aren't they showing a magic trick? What is this art? It's really dumb. And then it turns out
I'm really bad at this, guys.
I'm just real dumb.
There it is. There it's at.
You just have to put your finger over the 2 spots, right?
Yeah. Whoa! What's happening?
M. Dot in the chat room.
Garrett are magic, you guys. Wow.
M. Dot in the chat room.
I do look at this as a potential arena pick, though. I see it and I go, yeah, sometimes it's going to be the best of the 3 cards, and it's like, okay, now I get to find a situational spell.
Oh yeah, totally.
Cool. Yeah.
Fair. It's solid. I like it.
Not exciting at all, though.
I love the art. It's so good. It's so freaking good. By the way, neither of these spells are what you are hoping to find off of Caligos and cast for free.
Right.
No. No.
Oh, man, I saved 1 mana. 1. Awesome.
And it's possible that Caligos is the reason for a couple of these 1 mana spells, right?
To dilute the pool.
Put some spells into dilute the pool a little. Yeah, because if you were just finding Pyroblast and Flame Strike and Blizzard every time, then
how sad are you going to be when you play Caligos and it's Arcane Missile's Ray of Frost Magic Trick?
Right?
And you're just like, come on.
I mean, if that pool was full of gold, then it would be kind of too much, right? So you got to drop a couple deuces in that pool. And,
that's being mean to Ray of Frost, which I think is a really solid card. But
you're right. Ray of Frost.
It's solid. You just don't want to. Cast it for free. That's all. You're looking for better.
There's a fiber joke here about dropping solid deuces, but I'm gonna just move right past it into Paladin, where I believe this is the most cards for a single class we're going to discuss today. A lot of Paladin cards to get through. Starting with Bronze Herald, it's a 3-mana 3/2 common Paladin Dragon with a death rattle that reads add 2 4/4 dragons to your hand. 2 4/4 dragons.
And these dragons cost 4? Is that correct?
I would assume so.
4 mana 4/4s?
I'm fairly certain. I totally forgot to source a token for the video.
I haven't actually looked into that. Okay, sure. Not exciting, but I guess.
Well, because they also got Dragon Speaker. Sorry, I'm going to go out of order. So that's give all your dragons in your hand +3/+3, right? Plus, we have
to talk about that if we're going to talk about this, right?
Yeah.
And their legendaries of dragon as well. So I feel like they're kind of going Dragon Paladin route.
All right, so everyone gets mad when we don't say cost and amount. So Bronze Herald, 3 mana, 3/2 dragon. Dragon Speaker, 5 mana, 3/5. Battle Cry, give all dragons in your hand +3/+3. And then the legendary Nozari, 10 mana, 4/12. Legendary Paladin Dragon with a Battle Cry that reads restore both heroes to full health. So there you go. There's your Dragon's energy. Let's talk about Paladin and dragons in one fell swoop.
Mm-hmm. So I still don't know. I look at Nozari and I think, okay, it's like a Reno, where I don't have to worry about building 1-0s or any of that. It's just a Reno for me. But it's a Reno for you too. But if I'm making a deck that doesn't care about your health total until the very end of the game, then I don't care about healing you, right? Like my strategy if I'm playing that card is that I am, oh, there you go, Bronze Dragons, 4 mana, 4/4s. Is that I will just control the board, lock the board down, then eventually I will just have some giant dragons and some just big late game bombs to throw onto the board. Because we're losing all the like OTK stuff, right? We're losing a bunch of the things that make that possible.
You'll have 2 4-mana 7/7s.
Yeah, that's true. You get to make 4 mana 7/7s. Well, you can make them 10/10s though if you play double Dragon Speaker.
You could.
So yeah, and then you still got Crowd Roaster and a couple other like really sweet tools to use. The fact that we've lost like the 2 mana equality though makes me a little nervous about playing super control-y, don't do a lot type deck for a long time. But then I heal the fool, so it's fine. I don't know. Like, it just seems like there's definitely something here. It's just I can't really decide how good it is until I see this kind of stuff in action. I'm definitely going to give it a go, though. Yeah. And you know what's really good? What's really good is when you take those 4 mana 7/7s and then you Light Forge Bless them, and then they're healing you for 7 too. Whoa, yeah. There's stuff here. Definitely, this is like a day one tool with this idea.
Yeah,
sure.
I'm gun shy because just historically hand buffing has just never been that great.
Yeah, and this is specific hand buffing to only one type of minion, and you better have that type of minion in your hand, or else it's not going to be good.
Right. Hand buffing didn't catch on when it didn't give a crap what was in your hand. It got buffed, and now suddenly.
But it also didn't do +3 to everything, and +1 to everything, and over time.
Yeah, but you're doing a 3/5 for 5. I mean, I'm with you. I'm not like ready to stamp it trash, but yeah, I am. That's why I use the term gun shy. I'm gun shy. I'm not looking at this going surefire hit. I think this is. I'm skeptical at best.
It's iffy for sure. I'm with you. I think it's super iffy.
Yeah.
So I just got to get in there and I got to make the deck and I got to see how it feels. But we can put the 4 mana 8/8s in there too if we're doing the twin spell stuff and the Nazari stuff, right? If you gain this much health, it's +4/+4 and taunt. That card never really got off the ground.
Yeah.
And maybe it can now. I don't know. We'll see. The thing is, in standard at least, there's just not enough dragons, right? In wild, I could go crazy. I could just put all sorts of dragon stuff in there. Plus, we got the old school consort or whatever it was. What is it? Yeah, dragon consort,
wasn't it?
5 mana 5/5 makes your next dragon cheaper in Paladin.
Yeah, that one was.
So you got stuff you can do. Oh, there is the 2 mana 2/2 taunt divine shield, bro. Right? Still, is that around? The Paladin card that if you have a dragon, it's a 2/2 with divine shield and taunt. Can't remember what it's called.
I completely forget about that card.
Gargoyle something.
I got nothing.
Sure.
I'm
and then there's Evan Dragonsmith is still sticking around.
Cathedral Gargoyle.
Cheaper. So
Cathedral Gargoyle.
There you go. Yeah, someone in chat is talking about Cathedral Gargoyle.
Yeah, if you're holding a dragon, gain taunt and divine shield, Cathedral Gargoyle is not in and of itself a dragon. That's where I was getting confused. Yeah. I'm like, is this card a dragon? I don't remember a dragon that did that.
But if you play that on 2, and then on 3 you Bronze Herald, and then on 4 I guess you just drop a 4/4. Then 5 you make all your dragons bigger, and then I don't know what you do on 6, and then on 7 you boom roast something, and then and then eventually like you just have this unstoppable board presence, I guess. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
It's a maybe. It's a big maybe. It's a maybe for me, dog.
Well, and Leon in the chat room is making a good point, too, that we've only seen 1/3 of the neutrals, and a lot of our good dragons in the past have been neutrals. So
sure,
there's a chance that, these are Paladin tools, and they'll need some neutrals to flesh things out.
Yeah, we'll probably see a few neutral dragons, I would assume.
Yeah.
And you've obviously still got Ysera, Alex Straza, all that stuff.
And obviously Nozdormu, because he really fits the
of course Nozdormu. Yeah,
well, him and Nozari are like
bronze dragon. Like
you can never stop talking about he is and
he and Nozari are best buds.
You can't leave him out of this group.
Well, is Nozari and Nozdormu, do they chill? I mean, are they
they're all chill. They're chill.
I mean, it's probably dragon racist, but I just assume they all hang out.
Sure.
But
I'm actually not familiar with Nozari though. I don't really remember where Nozari comes up in World of Warcraft.
I think isn't he the bronze dragon who like flies you down in the caverns of time?
Is he?
I thought that was maybe. I thought that was just,
no idea.
I thought that was just whatchamacallit, like Chromie or whatever it was.
It was not Chromie.
It's definitely not Chromie.
No, but you know what I'm talking about. You know who I'm thinking of.
I
don't know the lore names of all of the dragons. But maybe.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he or chat room saying she is in the
excuse me,
caverns of time. But
right.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where I've seen her.
Yeah. This next card is another one that I am ready to play just because the art is like a Zelda reference. It's a 3-mana rare paladin spell called Call to Adventure. It reads, draw the lowest cost minion from your deck, give it +2/+2, but it's also totally a blood elf finding a sword in a stone in what some might call the Lost Woods.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's a tutor effect. So if you specifically put a certain card in your deck and then don't run a lot of other minions, and you just find that whenever you want. So that's always interesting. Witchwood Piper, like, definitely saw play in certain decks just because of that fact, right? I run the Witchwood Piper in my wild Naga Sea Witch deck right now because the only minion that I run that's not a giant is the Naga Sea Witch, and so Witchwood Piper just finds it every time for me. So there's always like a tutor type thing will always be something you have to look at as a tool, a useful tool. The fact that it buffs it, I don't know if that really matters so much.
Well, that matters for the dude from the troll Rosticon who goes back into your deck all the time.
Mortal Prelate.
That's
sure. Yeah, I mean, you're buffing your Mortal Prelates. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
but that deck has never really been that good, so I don't know if this makes that good. But, it is true. Like, so you find it once with this, and then if you have another one of these, you find it again with this.
Yeah.
That could be interesting.
It certainly helps some Mortal Prelate, which has struggled a lot. Yeah. It's just that I'm not sure this is enough.
So for 3 mana, like, okay, if I'm breaking down the card by value, a +2/+2 would be kind of worth 1 mana, right? If I'm just buffing something by +2/+2, we do have 2 mana +2/+2 spells out there, but usually they do something else, right? Like plus taunt or Earthen Might, like draws you a card if it's on an elemental, that type of thing. There's usually like something else tied to it. This is like just +2/+2, so I kind of compare it to like maybe 1.5 mana, and then to just draw a card from your deck is maybe worth about 1.5 mana. So you put them together, and I guess it's just a fair.
It's fair again.
Yeah, I guess I would be a little more excited. Like, Paladins have some decent buffs for sure that are staying, but they are losing Stegodon, and their twin spell is not something you want to stack. Like, give a friendly minion lifesteal. I know I think I was the harshest here last week on this, but I look at this, and if I'm thinking about a Mortal Prelate, I'm looking at Lightforge being like, you're a twin spell, and I can't stack you. You're useless to cast on the same target more than once.
I feel like this card should have been the twin spell card. This would have been sweet as a twin spell card.
Then
Call to Adventure.
Then I feel like because then I think it becomes too good, and it would need to be like +1/+1 because of Prelate's existence.
Maybe. I don't know. The thing is, like, you run 2 Prelates, so you don't necessarily draw the same Prelate every time, right? You draw.
Yeah, but if this was twin spell,
getting the same Prelate, you'd have to play it out of your hand, have it on the
have
board,
to die.
have it die, get it back in your deck, and then Call to Adventure again. So I think that's okay because it's not stuff you can just do all at once. And
I feel like just
non-disruptible sort of stuff, right?
Yeah, the tutor effect. I think Prelates might not be enough for that. I think we're probably going to be, but I think we might end up doing something with it to some other effect, where it's like a more expensive minion that I just really need to get, right? I think that type of thing might end up happening.
Yeah.
What if you had a no minion Shirvala deck that was doing because is Baleful not rotate? I thought Baleful was, but maybe it's not.
I think is because wasn't
it?
No,
Baleful.
I think it's
Baleful
not.
Was Witchwood.
I'd heard that it's not. But I don't know.
It's a Witchwood card, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, it's a Witchwood card.
You could just play no minions at all, and then Call to Adventure out your Shirvala, and then you have Balefuls. That's fine too. Yeah, so. Balefuls are good too. You need those as well. Yeah, And then you just get those are the only minions you need, right? And now like I can find those.
But is it
pretty much?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you'd have to get that
Baleful totally screws it up.
That deck sucks. Never mind.
Yeah.
I've already theory crafted it out.
Yes, clearly.
It failed.
Here, live on air.
I've already played 100 games in my head. I just didn't. I Doctor Stranged it. I looked into the future and saw a million different versions of that game, and we only won one. So
I don't feel so good, Mr. Dills. Desperate Measures is up next for the Paladin's 1-mana rare Paladin spell with twin spell that reads cast a random Paladin secret. I love these kind of cards because they're just freaking monkey wrenches.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Your sweet eye for an eye deck is here, Jocelyn. You just don't get to choose when you play it.
Yep.
I like these kind of cards because you suddenly have a lot to think about when you don't know what secret was played.
That's true.
It's not even a discover effect, so sometimes you can kind of think along the same lines as your opponent, right? Be like, okay, if I was in their situation, I discovered a secret, what would I pick? And then you have like a little bit of information, but this is just random. So there is now a secret. You have to take everything into account because there was no player agency on the other side of the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's worth enough for me though to just put a card in that I don't get to decide its effect, right? Like I don't know. I personally look at this and I go, if I'm playing secrets, I'm playing the specific secrets I want and not this 1 mana do whatever. The twin spell part of it, sure. I guess that makes it somewhat okay. But
alongside Commander Risa, do you think that just a secret Paladin deck will come back or see play in Wild?
Well, we're not losing. Are we losing the Bellringer Sentry? That's the one that they're playing now. Which kind of makes like right now the secret Paladin is actually a pretty good deck.
Bellringer Sentry was a Witchwood card.
Okay, so that's still around. So yeah, the secret Paladin deck is actually right now a pretty solid deck because it's just super aggressive, right?
Right.
And you look at secret Paladins and you think, okay, they need to be aggressive. A 3-mana 4/3 is an aggressive stat line, so that fits, right? And if I can put up a bunch of secrets before I play that, and obviously Never Surrender will protect a lot of boards. Mm-hmm. So I think there is definitely going to be a secret Paladin out there that's going to be really annoying to play against and aggressive, and you're just going to be like, dang it, because they still have auto defense matrix. Obviously, Get Down is never going anywhere.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of
eye for an eye.
One eye for an eye to deal that last little bit of damage. Yeah.
We've read Desperate Measures. Never Surrender is another new secret. It's 1 mana, common, and the secret is when your opponent casts a spell, give your minions +2 health.
That's pretty sweet. Because your opponent tries to kill your board and then it doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Right. And then Commander Risa, which was brought up as a 3-mana 4/3. It's a new legendary Paladin that causes your secrets to trigger twice as long as she's alive on the board.
So Never Surrender would buff your board +4.
Yeah.
With a Commander Risa in play.
Which would be, kind of nasty.
Yeah. I mean, there's something here. Definitely. For sure. I just don't know if Desperate Measures is also part of that plan.
I'm with you. This is just the type of card I really like. I'm not saying that is something you actually dedicate slots to. This is where I just go, oh, I miss you, Hydrologist. I'm going to miss you because of this card. This is the card that makes me go, I wish Hydrologist was still in the game because this is I would rather get this from Hydrologist than actually dedicate deck space to it.
But you won't get it from Hydrologist because it itself is not a secret.
Not a secret, yeah.
Oh, you're right. It's the twin spell. Yeah, never mind.
That'd be interesting.
It's irrelevant. Sorry, Hydrologist. I don't miss you. Well, I will, actually. Hydrologist
but Hydrologist was another card that made that deck go. So without it, that definitely is a huge blow. So we'll see if there's another way to get things to happen. Because they don't have, Paladins don't have something like Arcanologist or whatever that finds the secrets for you. So,
Yeah, but
and now they won't have Divine Favor, by the way, which was a really important card in that deck, too.
Yeah, true.
Yep.
Retro.
Yeah. But just to re-highlight.
But still, there's tools here. I just thought.
Yeah. Re-highlight Never Surrender, though. Just a really good secret. Because of how much this set looks to be adding things to your hand, like I know Mechanon's still around and whatnot, and we'll probably find other combos and whatnot, but I really hope that this becomes just a board interaction meta post the launch of Rise of Shadows. because it's
feels
looking
like
like
it
it.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the Hearthstone I like to play. Duel.
Well, then I was going to say, you must love Duel then.
That's board interaction at its finest.
Yeah, Duel is up next. This is a 5-mana Epic Paladin spell. It reads summon a minion from each player's deck. They fight! Exclamation point.
Yeah, cool card. Super cool card.
Very combo disruptive.
It's combo disruptive, but it's also combo enabling. Because you can pull a specific minion from your deck that you think isn't going to lose that fight, and then it does something. I mean, if I'm pulling Malagos from my deck, I mean, I don't know what I'm doing with Paladin Malagos stuff, but I mean, like, I could find some specific thing from my deck as well, pull it out, and if I believe that most of the time it doesn't lose the fight, yeah, could be sweet.
Yeah, the only other thing that needs to be added to Duel is...
But that the one that lived probably had like a bigger, right? Sorry.
Exactly. Well, I mean, yeah, that's clearly going to be the way this Duel works, too. Yeah.
Are you going to name it Big D Pally?
Big.
Is that going to be the name of this deck?
Sure.
Yeah,
I can run both of those cards in Wild, yeah.
Because it's a big deck. It's a big deck.
True.
Right? You're going to want big threats in your deck to win the duel. I don't know what I don't know what you were thinking at home, listener. Your mind's in the gutter. You're the one
Big
that
Dual Pally. That's what it is. Big Dual Pally.
Big Dual Pally. Yeah, see, it works on so many levels. Yeah. All right. We got another sponsor to thank today before we move on, and it is Me Undies. I just, listeners, just for a moment, stop and think. Is your underwear making you happy right now at this moment? Because if you're not thinking about it, if you're not thinking about yourself, man, this underwear makes me happy, you should really consider MeUndies. Specifically going to MeUndies.com/TAC, but more on that later. All three of us here at the Angry Chicken wear the same underwear, and it's because of MeUndies. They use what they call...
Yeah, it's called not at the same time.
Not at the same time. I mean, that would be just like I don't know, is sharing like a bench swing? How would that work?
Have to be a real big pair.
Yeah. They use micromodal fabric. It is 3 times softer than cotton. It's so soft, so soft. Also, by the way, all my boys out there that enjoy yourself a good boxer brief, you can now try the new boxer brief with a fly. It's the same cut as their normal boxer brief, but it's got the added option now if you prefer to go through the gate versus over the fence. So go check it out. I'm I'm excited about this addition to the MeUndies repertoire. So they've got a great offer for our listeners as well. If you're a first-time purchaser, when you go to MeUndies, when you get any MeUndies, you get 15% off and free shipping. You get 15% off a pair, and you get the most comfortable undies you're ever going to put on. It's fantastic. So go check it out. You also get free shipping, by the way. So it's 15% off your first pair, free shipping, a 100% satisfaction guarantee, by the way, all by going to MeUndies.com/TAC. And you also get to hear us talk about our underwear publicly. So you should really, really be thanking MeUndies. I hear more about these particular reads than sometimes even our rather insightful insights into cards. Yeah, folks.
I love MeUndies Day. It makes me so happy.
I know, you got so excited. You were like, "Woo!"
That was literally that was literally my sound check before the show, you guys. Dills was like 1-2, Dills 1-2, and I'm like, it's MeUndies Day.
But you're thinking, oh, these guys, they have this written down. They're asking us if our underwear makes you happy. And yeah, I do have it written down so I don't forget, but it's legitimate. This underwear makes us happy. So check it out, MeUndies.com/TAC. We thank them for their support. We thank you for going to that URL, letting them know we sent you. Now back to the giant card pile and moving on to Priest, which has a decent amount of new cards to talk about. Mass Resurrection is up first. It's a 9-mana rare Priest spell that reads summon 3 friendly minions that died this game. So just when you thought Priest might be losing some resurrection tools.
Why, Hearthstone? Why?
It's okay, though. I mean, they made it cost 9. It's fine. The Spellstone is like 7 and you get 4.
Yeah, but you had to cast a whole bunch of spells.
You do. Yeah. but it tends to happen.
Conditions, but you're right, it did tend to happen.
Yeah.
But this is always gonna happen.
Yeah. For 2 more mana, you always get the second upgraded version of the Spellstone. But by the way, this one doesn't say different friendly minions. It just says 3 friendly minions. So you could get.
So they could get 3 Velen.
3 Velen, 3 Malagos. Sure.
Has that been confirmed? Because the way Hearthstone cards are written, sometimes I'm just like, maybe they just didn't feel the need to elaborate.
I think they would have put it because they put it on the Spellstone.
Yeah, it did say.
It'd be really weird to just suddenly not do it. I don't know.
And there's a couple of other ones like the I can't remember, but it was in the Quest Priest, the 2 different friendly Death Rattle minions that died. They have specified it specifically on priest cards in the past. So
one thing though is that in standard, priest is losing the Radiant Elemental. Yes. And that was a big deal to actually get like that insta OTK thing. You know what I mean?
As well as Lich King and Eternal Servitude and Shadow Essence, like all that stuff is rotating.
So they're not going to be doing this like OTK strategy anymore. This is probably just going to be just res a bunch of big stuff.
Well, yeah, because they can still cloning galleries, so they don't even have to play out of their hand that big stuff, but it means it's going to happen a little slower.
I doubt, though, that even cloning gallery is going to happen without the potential to OTK anybody anymore, right? Like, it might. I mean, it definitely might. You're right. Like, that's a useful way to get the big things out that you haven't drawn yet. Are they losing Shadow Essence too?
Yes.
Oh my God. Yeah, they're completely gutted.
They're losing all of their like cheated out early type thing.
Well, they still got that in Wild.
Yes,
they are still there too.
Yeah.
It's not running as rampant right now in standard, but it's also worth noting they're also losing Obsidian Statue, which was a big resurrection target for priests as well.
Yeah.
That was the most annoying one. They weren't actually playing that very much anymore. Just because OTKing people was better than fending them off. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
that's one of the cards that would make this type of card really good is Mass Resurrection. So
remind me to come back to Shadowy Figure because we also should bring up the card that probably scares me more than anything about Mass Resurrection is Katrina Muerte. An 8-mana, 6/8 legendary priest minion that reads, at the end of your turn, summon a friendly minion that died this game. So Massive Resurrection could bring Katrina back, which would then bring more crap back, and you just built yourself a Spellstone.
Yeah. There's also
an end of turn effect. So end of turn modifiers do it. You get 1 for sure. Like,
Yeah, there's also the new card that everybody is going to get a week early, and we haven't talked about yet. But at the end of your turn, it casts a spell that you cast that turn. So if you Mass Resurrect that guy, then it'll cast Mass Resurrection again at the end of your turn, summoning 3 more things. So yeah, there's some stuff. This is going to happen, and you're going to be really annoyed. Also, yeah, Moshog and
I'm annoyed, and it hasn't even happened to me yet.
So, are we bothering with Evil Conscriptor? Because I don't think I want 2/2s or lackeys coming back when I have the potential to just do really dumb stuff, like bring back Katrina and...
Yeah, I think all the stuff we previously covered, so like the scheme and... maybe Forbidden Words, but Conscriptor for sure. Like, just none of that. No, I'm just going to res my big boys. That's all.
Well, you need other things besides your big boys, but yeah. Dills, do you have your These Are My Boys clip to just play right now?
Unfortunately, not that I can send through Skype. But.
What a shame. That's from Community, right?
These Are My Boys is from... where the hell did it come from?
I think it's from Community.
No. It's a wrestler promo. It's Dalton Castle actually saying it.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Archmage.
I just assumed it was a wrestling thing.
Yeah, Archmage Vargoth is the card that I'm talking about, which is, I'll just bring it up real quick because this does matter a lot to Mass Resurrection. This is the card everyone's going to get a la Marin the Fox. So every player gets this a week before, I think on the 5th or whatever we get it. 4 mana, 2/6. Legendary. At the end of your turn, cast the spell you've cast this turn. Targets are random. Well, Mass Resurrection has no target. But yeah, you play this. If Archmage Vargoth is one of those minions that gets resurrected, then at the end of your turn, it will then cast Mass Resurrection again. So then you could get a Katrina, an Archmage Vargoth, and I don't know, something else giant. And then at the end of your turn, Katrina will summon something, and then Mass Resurrection will happen again, and then you get another Katrina and another Archmage.
It's like your whole entire board.
Like instant giant board. Yeah. I mean, you pay 9 for it, but yeah. That's still pretty nutty.
Yeah.
Banana Town.
Yeah, so this card could be gross. Hopefully,
just the card existing is gross.
Hopefully, it's fine.
We'll see. We'll see. Yep. Listen, Joss, just kill them before they get there. Okay.
Okay.
That's true. You can always do that.
We haven't talked about Shadowy Figure. Sorry, Shadowy Figure. There's just insanity happening with Mass Res and Katrina. But Shadowy Figure is a 2-mana 2/2 Epic Priest minion with a battle cry that reads, transform into a 2/2 copy of a friendly Death Rattle minion. The only new Death Rattle Priest minion we've seen is Evil Conscriptor, which I don't think you're going to be particularly excited about transforming into.
I don't care about that one.
But yeah, historically, these types of effects have been potentially game-breaking.
Right now, we haven't seen any neutral Death Rattle minions yet, I don't believe either, right? So
no, but again, like the amount of neutrals that have actually been revealed are not very many.
Pretty small, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of...
For sure, because we haven't had an expansion with just a bunch of like blank text minions in the neutral category in 3 or 4 expansions now. Like everything has had some kind of text, so we're gonna get Death Rattle stuff for sure.
Yeah,
I would expect that to be the case. Which, by the way, I hope they keep doing this because I think it's a lot just more fun and easier to talk about a lot of class cards at the same time than looking at random neutrals being like, I don't know, probably not good. Moving on.
What's the dungeon that this guy's from?
I mean, it's a faceless, so
isn't this the guy? What's the one right before you fight the guy where you then turn into like evil versions of yourself, and then you have to fight those. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, from Lich King, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's a faceless one.
3 guys that walk down the hallway and then they like void blast you from the sky.
Yeah, you know the faceless ones have shown up many times. They're like an old god.
But this
minion.
looks specifically like those ones.
It is.
You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
can't remember what the
even the little background.
It's the Nerubian one that you go down and through.
Oh, Agile Nerub.
Shadow. It's also the one where you can fight the fungal boss too if you want to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's Agile Nerub, isn't it? It's got
yes,
not a Nubarak, the other one at the end, or is it a Nubarak?
Agile Nerub or whatever. Yeah. These are the 3 little guys right before the final boss.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like to me anyway.
It was good times. Also, there was a bunch of these jerks in Uldwar right before you go fight Yogg-Saron. Well, I guess technically General Fezzik. It was before General Fezzik. Whatever. Doesn't matter. We're WoW nerds.
Yeah, it's from WoW, guys.
Moving on to Rogue. Making good time. I like bundling them together like this.
Rogue, apparently.
Underbelly Fence is up first. God, I just have to say, I love the art on this one. Just a fun pose and a great style.
I love the card on this one.
I do love the card on this one as well. 2 mana, 2/3 rare.
You said that's so weird.
It sounded like you were objectifying Underbelly Fence.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, no, but I'm
look
just
at
saying,
the card on that one.
Cool. I haven't even looked at the art. I haven't looked past the integers that are being put in my face on this card.
Underbelly Fence.
Holy crap, this is good.
Underbelly Fence. I went up to Underbelly Fence and asked if there was a mirror in its pants because I could see myself in them.
Jesus.
Best reaction ever.
So, 2 mana, 2/3 rare rogue minion with a battle cry that reads: if you're holding a card from another class, gain +1/+1 and rush.
Heyo. I like 2 mana 3/4s that rush.
Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yep. And this isn't the only card that gains a benefit from having cards from other classes. Vendetta is another new rogue card. It's a 4 mana rare rogue spell that reads: deal 4 damage to a minion, costs 0 if you're holding a card from another class.
Well, I like 0 mana, deal 4 damage.
I like it a lot. Yeah. And you're the biggest proponent, like the biggest champion of this style of rogue deck that I know, Dills.
Oh, I love this. Yeah, I love Burgle Rogue. It's so fun. And the problem that it always had was you spend all this time gathering up these spells, but you're doing it at the expense of tempo. So you need ways to get that tempo back. and 2 mana 3/4 rushers and 0 mana deal 4. Well, that's great ways to get tempo back. So I'm very excited about this. And then obviously I think we have to talk about the legendary at the same time, because I think these all go together, and this makes a deck that might actually work.
Tack Nozwhisker, which has got to be one of the best names in the history of Hearthstone. It's a 7 mana 6/6 legendary rogue minion that reads, whenever you shuffle a card into your deck, add a copy to your hand.
Yes. So if you imagine playing this and then prepping out academic espionage.
I was just thinking about espionage. I was like, this is going to be so gross.
So not only do you put
but
10
in a
1
good
cost
way,
spells in your deck.
not in a res priest way.
Sure.
This is good gross.
Yeah. But you instantly put them into your hand, and then you not only do you instantly have 1 mana whatevers, you also then instantly know what the 1 mana cards are that you put into your deck that you know you're going to draw later. So it's just like information plus value all at the same time. I mean, 7 mana for a 6/6 is obviously expensive, but it's not prohibitively expensive that you can't do it in combination with these shuffle effects, right? So
yeah. Also, Togwaggle's scheme, which we already talked about, it's the scheme for Rogue. You choose them and you shuffle a copy of it into your deck. I mean, do you like fence? Do you like more than 2 fences in your deck? Rad.
That's true. Yeah, you could even make
you can
a bunch of tack Nozwhiskers.
Yeah, because you could just scheme your Nozwhisker, and that also goes in many Nozwhiskers go back into your hand.
Yep.
Scheme your Nozwhisker just sounds wrong.
I mean, just the fact, like, this makes Togwaggle's scheme at all like a thing now. Like, at first I looked at it and I went, oh, I don't think I'm going to do anything with that. But now I'm like, oh yeah, no, give me like tons of underbelly fences. Give me tons of what, you know what I mean? Like whatever I want to put into my deck, I now also get in my hand. Like, that's just crazy. So I think I'm gonna be playing around with this card. This is a day 1 deck for me. I am all about this. I'm all about this Burgle Rogue life, and there's so many different ways I can see you building it. Obviously, Pogo Hopper comes to mind as well, because let me go ahead and Togwaggle a bunch of those into my deck, but then also put a bunch of them into my hand at the same time. Yeah, that's the thing that kind of deck was always missing. So yeah, and Wild, oh my god, like Cold Light Oracle, anybody? Like, can I just get a bunch of those in my hand right now, please? Thank you.
That's another card that came out while I was playing WoW, and I was like, oh, I forgot about you.
Yeah, remember that guy?
You're still a thing.
So I made the other day, I was messing around with on the stream the theme of shuffling. I was playing the LMFAO clip every time I did it. So every day I'm shuffling, and then but I was doing it with Weasel Tunnelers and Priest, and then I was doing it in Rogue with like all sorts of weird stuff, academic espionage, blah blah blah. Now I'm looking at this and I'm just like, that theme just got so much sweeter. I'm very excited. I'm very excited for the shuffle lifestyle in Wild and Standard.
Yeah, this card's awesome.
Some nutsoid stuff coming to Rogue. And to think of, like, originally I was looking at Togwaggle like, yeah, lackeys and treasure and F all that. I want to do this.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing is cool is it's kind of enabling that academic espionage. Like, that was such a kind of fringy type deck that this makes it kind of the way that Rogue could realistically play, which I like that it's moving it away from that Miracle style, because Miracle Rogue has just been around forever. And
you basically play aggro tempo Rogue, and then like you never played a value Rogue, and now that's kind of what we're going to be doing. By the way, Tess is still around, right? Tess is Witchwood?
Yes, Tess is Witchwood.
Sweet. Tess is not actually a good card in this deck, but it's the fun card. It's a fun card in this deck.
Yeah. And I have a gold one.
Me too. Yeah. I love it.
And Voss. I have a gold Voss as well.
I have a gold Voss too.
Yeah.
That was like the whole point in me making the all gold Wild and Burgley deck, because I was like, I could actually do this. Like, I have a gold Leroy, and then I crafted a couple of the other like things. Like, I didn't have, the Hinge Clan thugs in gold and things like that, and I crafted them all. I'm like, ooh.
I'm going to ask you for selfish reasons, but also it's been mentioned enough. I think people are going to ask. Need to get a deck list from you, or a link at least that we can throw in the notes here for that.
Some of it is limited by the fact that I don't have some of the cards in golden, so like some of the cards don't make sense. But I do have like a list that is actually like legit if you don't care about the all gold part.
Yeah.
Because now with the academic espionage and that kind of stuff, the weapon, the 4-mana 2/2 lifesteal weapon, is like a legit like win condition, right? You just get that thing huge and just swing away and just be healing, like removing minions and healing for like 8 a turn every single turn. It's insane.
Man, Scheme Your Nozwhisker is definitely going to be today's episode title, but Get That Thing Huge would have been a contender. Would have been a contender. But let's talk about Shaman cards, because we haven't seen too many up until this point. We've seen Hagatha's Scheme and Swamp Queen Hagatha herself. Swamp Queen, all one word, not two, because Marsh King, why have consistency? Walking Fountain is a new Shaman card. It's an 8-mana, 4/8 common Shaman Elemental with Lifesteal, Rush, and I ain't done yet, Wind Fury.
Just in time for Corpse Taker to rotate. Yeah, right? Yeah, no, just when Corpse Taker rotates out, they throw in like the best Corpse Taker card ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
whatever. It's fine.
This
card is cool. I'm still not sure. In constructed play. I'm very sure in arena that this card is dope. Constructed, we'll see. But it definitely feels like it has a lot of potential, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to get 8 healing off, except for, I don't know, extremely
unless there's no
weird
minion
edge
on the board to
scenarios.
kill, but yeah.
Well, yeah. Yeah, so it's very likely you're going to get 8 healing for your 8 mana the turn you play this card. Potentially clear something, but with 4 attack happening on turn 8 is not a guarantee. But this does
super good against aggro, right? Like just auto win against an aggro deck. I killed 2 of your little minions. I heal for 8, and then they just cry. Because now it's still in play, and it's going to heal for more. Yeah.
And there can be 2 of these as well. So, it's a lot of healing.
But it's 8 mana. It's a lot of mana.
It's a lot of mana. Yeah, getting 2 of these out, that's a tall order.
That's why it's like a wait and see card. Like I'm curious to see, because it doesn't feel like a card that gets you towards a win condition. It's just a defensive tool, right? And so for that reason, I'm not convinced yet. But I mean, this just feels like there's stuff there, and this is a card that will always be, as long as it's in the rotation, you're always going to look at it and be like, do I just throw one of these in?
Yeah,
just to give myself an out against aggro. And yeah, probably.
But you're also, I mean, it's not like you're still Shaman. You're not losing you're not losing Lightning Storm. Like how badly do you need this on turn 8 to stabilize?
Right?
You are losing Volcano, yeah.
Yeah.
But
and when they don't have Maelstrom anymore.
But they do have Scheme.
They have Scheme now. That's true.
Yeah, Hagatha's
Scheme is disgusting.
Yeah, between that and I'm just not sold on Walking Fountain. There's just a lot of mana to make me believe in its standard worthiness.
Control Shaman is going to be interesting, because if Scheme is the only thing, then that's probably not enough thing.
We still have a lot of Shaman.
Hagatha's still a thing, right?
Hagatha's
still a thing.
The hero card is still a thing.
But we're losing Primordial Drake, right?
Yes.
So that was one of the things
going out with Ungoro
they used as well. So yeah, big AOE is going to be tough to come by for Shaman. They're just going to have that Scheme and the Hagatha, and then they're going to. I guess you could play Dragonmaw Scorcher. The Dragon package in Shaman has been seeing some play, like the Dragon control stuff, but they were also utilizing Elemental synergy, which is a lot of that's going away. So
yeah, I'm still. I mean, I guess you heal for 8, but I'm still not sold. Like, I'm not sure this happening on turn 8 is enough.
It's definitely it's just like a card I gotta see it work in a game.
Yeah, right? I'm with you on arena. No pushback for me. I'm picking this in arena.
Yeah, arena, like you really just want big bros at the end of the game, right? And this is a big bro, and it does something instantly with the turn you play it. So
yeah. Let's talk about Sledge Slurper, a 1-mana 2/1 rare Shaman Murloc with a battle cry that reads: add a lackey to your hand, overload 1.
You forgot to say he's an adorable 1-mana 2/1.
He's a Murloc.
I would say demented. I'm not sure I'd say adorable. He looks straight demented.
He looks so happy, all covered in sludge.
He's been slurping the sludge, and he's just all It's like huff and glue, you know? He's crazed right now.
This looks like a Murloc in the style of Pokemon, but specifically Pokemon Detective Pikachu like style. Like it's a little too like Uncanny Valley weird.
I mean, would you rather fight one John Cena sized Sludge Slurper or 100 Sludge Slurper sized John Cenas? I think that's the question we all need answered.
The latter, because I can't see him, so I wouldn't be afraid.
Ah, that's true. It's like they're not even there. Yeah,
I can't see him.
Just imagine them all just, F5 or sorry. I said the Brock Lesnar finishing move. AAing your like toes. Yeah. I'll do that. This card is good. Let's just say it's good because it is. You play it on 1, then you overload on 2, but on 2 you play a lackey, and a lackey is good.
And we've already talked
about
it.
Go back, I believe, 2 episodes, where we kind of came to the conclusion that lackeys are just good, like all of them.
Well, it's like instant 1-2 curve in one card, right? And that's pretty solid. Yeah. Plus, it's a Murloc, so you can find some Murloc synergies probably.
And we love Murloc synergies.
Oh yeah, my favorite.
Here at the Angry Chicken, we are proud supporters of the Murloc tribe.
Pro Murloc.
Pro Murloc.
I actually do like them more than I ever did before. I dusted off and busted out the Murloc Mage last night. I had a Murloc quest, and I was like, "Oh, Murloc Mage! Hell yeah, let's do this!"
That deck,
I thought you were going to say you had an Untie the Murlocs deck,
and I crushed people, and it was good.
I did not play that deck for very long, but it is going to have it just has a warm place in my heart because I played a ton of it over last Thanksgiving. Like I remember watching the Macy's Day Parade, just like under a blanket, day drinking because you're cooking the turkey. Just sitting there playing Murloc Mage, just
spamming Murlocs, and then fireballing their faces.
Super cozy, watching the dog show. It's great. It's a great way to spend your Thanksgiving. Let's talk about Muck Morpher. Oh, this is such cool art. It's again very disturbing, but very fun.
Like a Where the Wild Things Are kind of looking guy.
Yeah, it also reminds me of Shutterwalk.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
They're bros.
Yeah.
So this is a 5 mana 4/4 epic shaman minion with a battle cry that reads transform into a 4/4 copy of a different minion in your deck. And chat room already beat us to it and said how awesome would it be to Muck Morpher into a copy of your Walking Fountain and get your Lifesteal, Rush, Wind Fury. You still got that 4 attack. Yes, you're losing out on the health, but yeah.
So this instantly makes you think like Malagos and stuff like that, right? Because it's just for 5 mana, I can get the effect of something crazy out of my deck. So yeah, I look at this and I go combo enable. Let's do this. You don't want to play it with your Shutterwalk, by the way, because you don't want your Shutterwalk turning into a 4/4 copy of something else. You want it to be a 6/6.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the art reminds me of Shutterwalk, guys.
Sure.
I don't think that this goes with Shutterwalk. They just look similar.
I think I'm pretty sure it's Matt Dixon, the artist.
I was gonna say, I think it's the same artist. Yeah.
Yeah, very very recognizable art style.
Yeah.
But yeah, this card is definitely enables some stuff, and in Wild, oh my god. Yes.
This kind of scares me because I'm hoping to be leaving the kind of meta that cards like this enable. And that said, we're still not seeing too many cards like this, so maybe it's okay that Shaman gets one. But
sure.
It just
and right now it's like I don't see
cards too, right? So yeah.
I don't see like any Shaman cards in this set that, like you said, Walking Fountain. Even that's not going to be that crazy because the 4/4 version of that isn't that insane. But like, in the neutral set, I'm not really seeing. So I'm not really sure like what the thing is outside of like Malagos you're really going to want to turn into. There is some stuff, I guess, like if I could turn into the new card Big Bad Archmage, which I don't think we're going to be talking about yet, but it summons a 6-cost minion at the end of the turn. If I could turn into like, there's stuff out there. It's just you're going to have to limit the stuff you put in your deck to then play a Muck Morpher.
Yeah, so then is there some sort of combo spell-heavy shaman that you could get more consistent value out of your Muck Morpher? Or is he maybe the lowest cost minion in your deck and you don't care what he turns into because
it's always better?
Everything's always better?
Yeah, that could be a thing. I instantly, though, just think of, Malagos, and then I just make a Malagos, and then I start blasting you with, in Wild Crackles. all sorts of stuff. So
You keep bringing up very specific crap that has happened to me since I've been playing Wild, and Crackle got played against me, and I'm like, if this hits for 3, I win the game, and it hit for 3, and I'm like, that's why this card is garbage.
yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, and again, hero card Hagatha is staying in, so I'm looking at Muckmorph with Malagos, and it's like I could probably stitch together just a deck full of nothing but spells and Hagatha and Malagos and maybe pull this off.
Yeah. It depends on if the scheme and all that kind of stuff is enough to stay alive.
Yeah,
right?
and the beginning of the year definitely going to be the hardest to do that because we're playing with the least amount of cards we're going to have all year. So spells to pull from, not as many, but it's something I want to chase down at some point.
Yeah, this card interests me for sure. Me and this card are gonna have a sit down.
Hey, Muckmorpher, let's get a coffee sometime and catch up. Okay, dudes, let's do it.
I would swipe right on this card, is what I'm saying.
All right. Yeah, you do you, Dills. You do you. Let's talk about Warlock cards. There's 4 of them we're going to talk about today, starting with a card I am struggling to pronounce. It's Aranasi Broodmother.
Sure.
Is how I'm choosing
Sounds
to
right.
pronounce that. I think made up word. It's a 6-mana 4/6 common Warlock demon with taunt, and it also reads, when you draw this, restore 4 health to your hero.
Okay.
Yeah, not when you play it.
No. So
but I
Flame
mean,
Leviathan
it's
was the card that did this
Yeah.
in the past, right? There was
Right.
one other one. I can't remember what it was, but
There was a warrior card that wind furied your own minions when you drew it. I can't
oh
remember the
yeah,
name
it
of
did. It dealt 1. Yeah, they always did like an AOE.
It was
thing
always
for
technically a bad thing to you, sort of.
yeah. The Mage version was awful, and nobody ever played it because it was like, I don't want to deal damage to my own board. What the hell?
Yeah.
And the warrior one was like, dealing damage to my own board is good, but I don't get to choose when I do it.
Right.
So,
And with warrior, it is good, but you want to be able to control it. So with all of that in mind, this is probably the best version of this type of card we've seen, but it's still not that exciting of a card.
no. The problem with it is that sure, I heal myself for 4. That's cool. I don't get to. There's no choice there. I don't get to like pick a minion, heal that if I want to. Like it's just my face, and I give information to my opponent when I draw it.
Yep.
And then I pay 6 mana for a 4/6 taunt, which probably isn't very good because it does nothing to the board when I play it.
Mm-hmm.
All of these things add up to this sucks. Now it is a demon, so I guess sometimes you'll generate it or do something. It'll show up sometimes, but I don't think I ever put this in my deck.
Unless you're trying to do crazy plot twist things, but well, let's just talk about plot twist. So plot twist is a new Warlock spell. It's a 2-mana rare Warlock spell, which reads, shuffle your hand into your deck, draw that many cards. So something like Aranasi Broodmother at least piques one's interest if you're thinking of silly, endless value winning fatigue matches.
Well, I just think of this as like my hand sucks. Let me get a new one.
Yeah. It's
I
like
agree.
mid-game mulligan.
Yeah, this is Wheel of Fortune in Magic or any of those types of effects. In Magic, there's like a million of these.
The magic card. I was like, what, Wheel of Fortune where you guess the puzzle? What?
No, it's a Magic card where you discard your hand and then draw 7 cards, or everybody does it actually, not just you. Like it's in like every single Commander deck ever.
Shows you,
But there's like a ton of these effects in Magic, and they're all sweet because it's just like my hand is not what I need it to be right now. Give me a new hand. So yeah, hell yeah, I want this card. If I'm playing like some sort of control deck, and I just I don't have the tools I need right now, I play this, and I probably end up getting the tools that I need for that turn. And it's only 2 mana, so it's like 2 mana, like just draw a bunch of different cards, and I think it's great.
Chat room is also bringing up a really good point that it goes very well with Solarium. So any cards you can't play,
Oh, you do Solarium and then do this.
Solarium and then do this, and then you get to keep whatever you draw. And yeah, so it has really good synergy there. Thanks.
I wonder though if you redrew the Solarium cards, would they still have that effect on them? Because this first shuffles your hand, then draws. Like I'd have to see that interaction. But
that's interesting.
Because you know how it makes
But even
those
then,
cards,
you get them like one at a time, right? And then so even if it still had the effect,
It shouldn't
That's
because it's
probably
moved
good.
zones, which
Yeah.
they say that when you move zones, so from deck to board or deck to hand doesn't lose stuff, but from hand to deck,
Yeah, going
it's supposed
backwards.
to, right?
It does,
So I think it would lose the effect moving from hand to deck.
It also
think.
wouldn't
Yeah,
be the
even
first. It also wouldn't be the first time that it's maybe not coded correctly, and it has a bizarre
That's true.
standalone effect like
But
that.
I would assume that, yeah, then my 1 mana Solarium would essentially become 1 mana just draw 3 if I
Draw 3, yeah.
Yeah. I love this card. I'm very excited to play with this card. Oh my God.
Super cool, and I've seen all the discussion around Aranasi Broodmother with plot twist, and I'm like, yes, but it's still not that good. Like,
It's not that effect I'm looking for with
I don't
Plot
think
Twist.
you're.
I'm just looking for new cards.
Yeah,
I'm not looking to gain 4 life.
I don't think your win strategy is to put a bunch of Broodmothers in your deck so you can gain 4 when you sometimes draw them.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. So, Eager Underling, we skip past. It's a 4-mana 2/2 rare Warlock minion with a death rattle that reads: give 2 random friendly minions +2/+2.
I think I probably just play the Grim Rally and I don't worry about this thing. The Grim Rally is doing enough for me already. This is just like the turn I play it. It's a 4-mana 2/2. I guess you could play this and then Grim Rally this, and for 5 mana you buffed your whole board +2/+2 to a couple more things. So it's like the 4/4 gets charged.
Mm-hmm. It's
Maybe?
very Fungomancery, right? Because Fungomancer's 5 mana.
Yeah, but Fungomancer is like
but
battle
it does
cry.
it
It's a
for
death
sure.
rattle.
Yeah, exactly. And
That
you
seems
choose-
worse.
With Fungomancer, you choose, right? So
Yeah, and Fungomancer I put between 2 specific minions that allow me to then make the trades in the way that I want to. And
And
I
it's
do
one
think there
card.
might be something there with the Grim Rally idea, though.
yeah, this plus Grim Rally for 5 mana, I'd be buffing +4/+4 +1/+1 to everything
Yeah.
as well. So maybe there's something there. But right now, like I don't know if you saw recently that there's like a new Grim Rally full of 1-drops zoo variant that's out there that's doing pretty well. It's like you just don't need a card like this. This is just too slow, right? You're basically like dumping your hand and then Grim Rallying your board. And I don't think you run any like big cards like this, especially like how slow this is. So it's probably a no from me, dog. But,
Very slow. Also needs a combo.
yeah.
Don't care for it. All right, last Warlock card for today, Fell Lord Betrug, which I'm going to straight up say, at some point, because the first time I read this card, I read it this way, I'm going to say on the show, Fell Lord Buttrug, and I don't apologize. It's the first time I saw this in my Twitter feed, I'm like, Fell Lord Buttrug? What a stupid, Betrug. Okay, all right. Is an 8 mana, 5/7 legendary Warlock demon that reads, whenever you draw a minion, summon a copy with Rush that dies at end of turn. And please don't say, but Aranasi Broodmother, you don't need to make that card work. It's okay. It's okay.
Sometimes cards just don't work, you guys.
Sure.
Though,
This card
actually,
seems like it's got a lot of potential, though.
this would make Eager Underling way better.
If you play this on 10 and then tap, and you get a minion, you instantly get to do something to the board. I saw some people comparing it to, what was it, Wilfred Fizzlebang, that you would tap and then you get a card and it would be free. I think this is better though because you just get the minion onto
you
the
get
board.
something played out onto the board.
Yeah,
that's
it instantly
rushing,
happens,
so,
right? Yeah. So it seems like this is going to enable some really crazy stuff. The fact is though that it costs 8.
Mhm.
So without stuff like Emperor Thorson and things like that in standard, it's going to be hard to really combo this out in a real way. So you'll have to try to cheat this onto the board somehow, maybe, or something, which you can still do, I think. Oh no, actually, the weapon is rotating out, isn't it?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Finally.
So how do you cheat out demons now? I don't know.
You don't.
You
And that's
You pay for
okay.
them. You pay full price.
You play wild, and eventually you end up with 4 Malganises, and
What a
you
concept.
cackle maniacally.
Well, yeah, in Wild, I mean, I can Void Caller this thing. I can Skull the Minari this thing. I can Emperor Thoris on this thing.
You could just
All
make a
sorts of
deck
stuff.
with nothing but minions, so that when you pay 8 for Fell Lord on 10 and you tap, you definitely
You
summon
always,
a
yeah.
minion.
Like all of a sudden, Mal'Ganis comes out. Like, beats. Yeah, no, yeah. There's stuff here. It's just this is a card you got to play around with, right?
Mhm.
You gotta play with Buttrug.
Got to play with that butt rug.
Sounds like you just have a really hairy butt. See your butt.
like the Austin Powers fake hairy chest, like but just on your booty.
Yeah,
that'd be good. That'd be good.
See, I immediately thought of bed bug when I saw this, not butt rug.
It's just how I read it, man. It's just where my weird brain goes. You said Wheel of Fortune, I started humming the Price is Right music in my head. I'm like, that's not right.
Oh, man. Moving on to Warrior.
Let's move on to Warrior, where we mercifully only have one new card to talk about. Because we've already talked about quite a few Warrior cards. And it's called Dimensional Ripper. It's a 10 mana rare Warrior spell. What do you get for your 10 mana, Johnny? Well, it summons 2 copies of a minion in your deck.
Copies, so it's not cheating them out.
Does not thin your deck.
No, it just pulls them out and puts them onto the board. But if you play, I mean, I could see just a giant minion-filled Warrior deck that plays like Boom Ship and this, and it's just all about like, here's 10 mana and I get a Ysera and and a giant whatever else. Like, I don't know. It seems good. Seems like it could be cool.
2 of the same thing, right? Because you get 2 copies.
Oh, that's true.
A minion,
It's
but
2 copies. You picks 1 minion, and then it pulls. Yeah. Okay.
Well, then
you're
it
right.
gives you 2 or summons
2 Ysera. Okay, yeah, 2 Ysera. Sweet.
Yeah.
For 10, I'm in.
So it's not recruiting. It's
copying.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you'd still have a 3rd Ysera in your deck.
Yeah. So yeah, and then I also play Boom Ship in that deck, and I just like kill you with giant stuff that I get out on the board for cheaper.
So again, big dude warrior.
Also, it's not up there yet, but there's another minion that supports this strategy, and it's the Boom Reaver. So there's gonna be lots of ways to do this. It's just that deck is gonna be heavy, man.
Well, it has to be because you're waiting until turn 10 to play this card.
Yeah,
So
and Boom Ship is 9.
There's still big things.
So
in your
like
deck.
you're not cheating stuff out on like 6 like you were doing before, right?
You're getting things out when I would like you to flood the board with giant threats.
Yeah, and you're not. There's no more Woe Cleaver. There's no more 6 mana recruit, right? So like you're basically doing it this way only.
Yep. And like
that's fine.
Blastmaster Boom wouldn't be the scariest thing in the world because you wouldn't get the battle cry.
Yeah.
Omega Devastator, you wouldn't get the battle cry.
I think I'd rather just play the bomb version of Warrior right now, but people are gonna mess with this too. Will it be good?
It's nice that there's things to do with Warrior that isn't just odd Warrior armor.
The thing is,
with Warriors to have some fun.
With Baku going away, though, I don't know how viable just super slow, just control Warrior is going to be now. We're probably going to see a lot of the Rush Warrior, a lot of Tempo Warrior, and then we'll see if this type of thing starts to happen too. Maybe.
Fair. Yeah. By the way, Jocelyn, I don't want Warriors to have fun. I want to have fun playing against Warriors for the first time in over a year.
Fair
enough. That's what I want. All right. I did not make pretty graphics for neutrals because I was finished at a certain point this morning. I was like, I've been in Photoshop for 3 hours. I'm done. So let's just screen cap from the official Hearthstone website and take a look at some of the new neutrals that have been revealed. Like,
I think you're not on the neutral tab though, because those are a bunch of class cards right there.
Some are neutral. It's all mixed together. Is there a neutral tab?
Yeah, on the far right at the top there. Boom.
I'm used to using fan sites, and the fan sites have been letting me down recently with how quickly they update. So this is my first time using the official website to look at cards. All right. Barista Lynchen? I feel this is only fair that I don't know how to pronounce this card's name for all the baristas that have gotten my name wrong over the years.
And she's clearly giving hot coffee in a beer stein? Is that what's going on there?
Dude, in Warcraft, have you ever seen a different kind of cup other than a beer stein?
That's true. There's only one kind of...
the only vessel liquid comes in other than lakes and oceans in Warcraft. Anyway.
Either that or it's like hot spiced cider or something like that. Old cider.
Gotcha.
That could be okay.
Chat room saying Lin Chen. I'm putting the words together too harshly. So Barista Lin Chen is a 5-mana 4/5 legendary neutral minion with a battlecry that reads, add a copy of each of your other battlecry minions to your hand.
Okay. So I can play some battlecry minions out, and then I can get them back into my hand and play them again.
Get them in your hand.
Yeah, more value. Value.
I think you can compare this to the 5-mana 4/5 elemental, that if you had the elemental train going, you'd get another elemental, because like, is, you know, you're paying a little extra for a 4/5, but you're putting stuff back in your hand. The problem here is that this one's going to require something to be on the board, right? You'll have to have played something with Battle Cry either or the turn before and it's still there, or you'd have to combo it on later turns to get that value back. So I mean, still, it seems solid.
I still think that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, especially if I'm playing like a Battle Cry heavy, like Shudderwalk deck or something. Right? Seems pretty sweet.
Yeah. Archivist Elysiana, man. Fake names. Somebody out there has that name and they're like, screw you, Garrett. Archivist, I'm just going to call him Archivist for now, is an 8-mana 7/7 that we're very excited about. Legendary neutral minion that has a battle cry that reads discover 5 cards. Replace your deck with 2 copies of each.
Now, are we excited about this card?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's cool. I do understand that people are concerned about these fatigue style games or whatever, but I'm not so sure that we can immediately think, oh, that's definitely going to be what's happening, because we haven't even seen the meta and what it's going to be like. And it's nice to have a tool that you can use to not fatigue, right? It's nice to have that ability in a neutral style card, right?
I think what I see happening with Archivist is, because she's a neutral, it means she can go in every deck. I think what's going to happen is she's going to be in the sideboards of these specialist tournaments, so that whenever we see control go up versus control, both decks are going to have Archivist, and then we're going to see some games just come down to the whole just what 5 cards was I able to discover versus my opponent. So just seeing like games constantly come down to Archivist, I think is
Yeah, but we're assuming that that's what's going to happen. That might never happen. And I actually think what might happen instead is, like, if I'm going to just kind of predict, I'm going to predict that people aren't going to play control in specialists. Like, they're going to have some sort of win condition, which allows us not to counter your strategy, right?
Yeah, maybe that's like a bigger problem, is that one whole style of play won't be viable in specialists. Maybe we deal with that first before worrying about Archivist.
Yeah, with Archivist, the first place my brain goes is, I think Team 5 is like, I don't think enough infinite value options are leaving with the standard rotation, so let's give some anti-fatigue protection to everyone that maybe
like I didn't like it when only Druid
solution.
can do it, right? Like,
right.
I much prefer that everybody has that option if need be. So and you know, 5 discovers is better than 5 random cards, 2 copies of each. It's just straight up RNG. There's going to be a lot of skill involved in which cards you pick right at the end, and that's going to be interesting. So I'm actually excited to see pros play this card. Like, if this happens in tournaments, it's going to make some really interesting scenarios. And that to me sounds fun. That doesn't sound annoying at all. That sounds amazing. I love watching pros get into situations no one's ever been in before, right? Like, that to me is one of the funnest things in a Hearthstone tournament, is when you got 2 people and they're like, we've run thousands of practice games, but we've never seen this scenario.
Yeah.
And we both have to navigate it right now together and figure it out. That I love. So I think it's going to create those types of situations. I do see where you're coming from, though, and I don't think you're necessarily wrong. I'm just saying, like, we need to like see it play out before we go, okay, this card shouldn't be in specialist or something, right? Like maybe this is a card that ends up getting banned from specialist.
Like I said, I'm not saying that it shouldn't be in specialist, but I feel like because you're right, have to see how the meta shakes out and everything that happens around that, and if control is even viable in specialist. Like, a lot of things have to happen for this card to become problematic. Mm-hmm. But I do think it could be problematic.
It could be. Now, if someone does swap to it in specialist, right, and your win condition is control and fatigue or whatever, you could also just put this in your own deck, and then when they do it, you just do it a little bit later, and then you've already drawn your whole deck. So now I still have, like, they got 10 cards, but I have 10 more cards now too, so I'm still kind of doing my win condition. Like, that kind of stuff will happen. And I just think most people are still going to be playing tempo-based strategies that are going to try to win the game before it ever gets to that point too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's going to be cool. And I'm definitely excited to play with this card just on my own on the ladder and have some fun with it.
I like
it. It does feel to me, yeah, no, I like this card a lot. It does feel to me, though, like looking at just most of the cards, that we are looking at a meta that will probably slow down. Now, we always say that, and it never does, but it feels a little bit more like that than...
well, yeah, it's so often with the standard rotation, enough cards leave that just fast curving decks with some old school classic cards make dents again. But it's been a while since we've been in that meta, so I'm not necessarily against it. And the last couple of expansions, granted with the balance updates that they made after expansion launches, they had some pretty healthy evolutions over the course of their entire cycle.
Mm-hmm. I didn't even think about that. Schmorier in chat talked about Shudderwalk. You can play this and then Shudderwalk and do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
If you already have Shudderwalk in your hand.
You have to have, yeah. But I mean, in this style of deck, the whole purpose is, right, to draw your whole deck and get to the end, right? And then, so I play this, and I play this with an empty deck. And then I empty that deck. And then I play Shudderwalk and get a brand new 10-card deck. Oh, my goodness. I want to do that.
I think that might be the most powerful scenario I've heard mentioned around this card. And you're right, I didn't think about it either.
Yeah, I definitely want to do that.
I felt like people were really stoked. I'm like, win conditions are still probably better in most cases than this, but yeah, that's pretty solid.
So the one thing that I, like you were saying, it's nice to have this as a neutral option for other classes, because yeah, in the past it was just Druid, and then we had like Archmage, Benedictus, and like there was like only a few classes that could actually do this. And it did feel kind of like lame that there's just some classes that just no options. There's just no options to play out a fatigue game, right? You start to kind of see things happen, and then you're like, damn it. By the way, though, if you are up against this kind of deck in a specialist tournament, well, maybe you just throw a Mechathune package into your deck, right? And you just say, look, I don't care how many freaking cards you add to your deck. Once my deck is empty, I kill you. So I think there's going to be counters.
Oh, that is an interesting thought. Yeah, if it does develop that way. I mean, the Specialist is
still in a really weird place for me, where I don't quite understand.
It's a big unknown
how it works. Yeah,
at the moment. So, Archmage Vargoth. We mentioned him earlier. He's a 4-mana 2/6 legendary neutral minion that reads: at the end of your turn, cast a spell you've cast this turn. Targets are random.
This is what I was talking about with the mass res for priest. Yeah. There's gonna be a lot of crazy spells that you can cast again that'll be sweet. So, and this is the card everybody's gonna get for free 5 days before the expansion. So expect to see it everywhere for the next 5 days.
Which is really cool because, yes. I mean, like versus as much as Marin was kind of like fun, this is something I think we're probably going to see like all the way through the expansion and possibly all the way through the standard year. So I think that's a great piece to give away for free.
Hell yeah. Marin is, I think, better card than we all assumed. I've been seeing Purple play a lot of it. Yeah. I guess he's been playing a lot of it forever.
Yeah.
But I was actually like watching it and I'm like, wow, it's legit. Like pretty good. So I was messing around with, I've been doing a lot of Reno Shaman with Shudderwalk, like a lot lately in Wild. And I had never even considered this interaction, but you Marin and then you reincarnate the treasure chest, because what it does is it kills it and then it brings it back.
Mm-hmm.
So you kill the treasure chest, you get the treasure, and then there's another treasure chest, so you can kill it again later if you want. And it's just been incredibly fun. And I'm like, how come I wasn't messing around with Marin more? Like, I just wasn't. I just assumed it sucked, and I just kind of ignored it. I'm not going to ignore this one. I'm going to play the hell out of this thing. And it's just going to make really crazy scenarios happen.
Yeah.
Yep. Big Bad. Why can't I say this? Big Bad Archmage was also mentioned earlier today. It's a 10-mana 6/6 that reads: at the end of your turn, summon a random 6-cost minion. That's a tall order.
Well, for 10 mana, you're going to get instant 2/6 drops, and then because like this is kind of a 6-drop, right? Itself.
It feels spiteful summonery.
It does. But the thing about Spiteful Summoner is you build your deck around it, then it does its effect once, and then it never does it again. This thing you have to kill. Your opponent has to kill this, or it just keeps happening, right? And if they don't kill it, you're just generating value turn after turn after turn. So I don't know. This seems like it could be solid. Definitely a good arena card. Because if I want to play big stuff at the end of a game in arena, oh my god.
Yeah.
Now, standard, I don't know, because obviously standard sometimes needs to be faster than this, but
this seems really slow for standard. As for me, like I think Spiteful made a dent because it happened a lot sooner, and you weren't again. If it had stuck around, it probably would have been dealt with. And I think if you're spending 10 mana, your opponent probably has 10 mana, and most likely has a way to deal with this.
That's true. Most of the time, they should be able to deal with it, and that's what makes it kind of fair. If this was at all cheaper, it would really suck. But yeah. But still, I mean, also sometimes you're going to get this onto the board through random effects, right? And that's going
totally. And the other thing too,
so gonna happen.
What might happen is eventually some just big threat deck will get made. I feel they tend to pop up every now and then, and cards I've always dismissed for being too slow suddenly end up playable. And this is one of those cards where if you had a deck that's just so many big threats that they just all demand removal, you totally put this in because you're just like, I don't care how many polymorphs you got.
Well, what if I Dimensional Ripper this guy out and I get two of them? For 10 mana, I get two of these, and then they both summon 2 6-drops at the end of the turn. Oh my god, instant board.
Yeah, I think Warrior might be the deck that we're looking at, just building just kind of some big bomb deck. And I don't mean boom bombs. I mean bomb
you have to
cards.
be specific now.
And not boom bomb cards. Yeah, exactly. You get the point.
It just this card is also one that just interests me, right? I'm like, I'm just curious to see how this goes down.
Yeah. I'm skipping over some neutrals, by the way. If you're feeling very strong about like exotic Mount Seller or Hench Clan Hag, let me know.
No.
Yeah. I do want to
feel strongly about Hecklebot though.
Yeah, I do too.
I do too. Hecklebot's a 4-mana 3/8 with taunt. Also, and it's a rare neutral mech. It also has a battle cry that reads, "Your opponent summons a minion from their deck."
So Dirty Rat is back.
I was going to say it's Dirty Rat on steroids.
This is you look Dirty Rat. You look different. Have you had?
But Dirty Rat pulled from hand, so you always had to kind of like wait it out and figure out the moment. This Hecklebot, it's just kind of like, well, if I have a way to kill whatever comes out, I'm just going to play it and then see what happens. Or if I know if I've already decided what kind of deck you are and I know it's a combo thing, I'm just going to play it on curve and just be like, pull out something and hope it's the thing I need, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm of two minds. Like, I mean, this is very strong for sure. And there are definitely certain combo decks where I think this is straight up better than Dirty Rat. But I always liked Dirty Rat because you kind of had that feeling. I feel like you could sense when they had assembled their pieces, and you're like, yeah, Dirty Rat gets them right now. Whereas this, depending on the deck, there's a chance it may not really interfere with their plans all that much.
Sure. It's like Gnome Feratu in that way, where you just kind of play it and hope. But like Dirty Rat, you'd wait for them to like play the Galvanizer, and then you're like, okay, I know the Megathune is in their hand now, and then Dirty Rat, I got it, But it's just nice to see disruption back. Thank you.
Well, and again, there's so much disruption in this expansion, and I think it has a lot to do with the fact that specialist format is a thing now. So all these kind of disruption cards feel very much like sideboardy things to me.
Which is why we need a way to play that format in our home games. Because these cards are really cool and probably not going to see that much play in our actual games on ladder because we're just trying to...
Because you have no idea what you're queuing into time and time again.
Yeah, we're just trying to keep a high win rate. That's the only thing we're trying to do. And I want to care more about cards like this.
You know what you can do, Garrett, is you can go play Wild and make your 3 specialist decks and then insta-queue back in after a game because usually you get the same guy again if you insta-queue. And it's almost like you're playing
so have them ready and
quickly have the other decks ready to go so you can counter whatever they're doing.
That makes me sad.
Counter queuing is actually super common in Wild, especially when you start to get higher on the ladder. There's less players.
Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun in Wild right now, and it sounds like it's probably because I'm lower ranked.
Lower ranks are the bottom.
But I want more people to play because that would also solve that issue if more people were playing.
That is true. Wow.
Just like while we're off topic, did you all see the Polygon article that's just like scathingly taking down the cost of Hearthstone? It went up yesterday.
Oh no, I missed it.
Oh, like it basically talks about Wild, like just this bastard mode that the team doesn't care about. It is like so strongly opinionated, and I mean it's an opinion piece, but
well, they're not wrong.
Yeah, that's it. Kind of bums me out because I've been having so much fun in Wild recently, but.
Like Wild is like the youngest kid who just gets all the hand-me-downs, and everything they get is just tattered and ripped to shreds.
So what I'm hearing from you is I should just play Wild like once every 3 months. Every time I go back to rank 25, play again.
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, I still have fun at the high ranks too, but it's just it's a different world. I do miss the wild west of rank 20 Wild. It's so good.
Yeah. Yeah, but it raised some interesting points. I mean, we talked about the cost of the game a couple weeks ago, so good on Polygon trying to keep up with our show and its cutting-edge Hearthstone coverage. Speaking of...
We should talk about Geppetto Joybuzz, by the way.
We should talk about Unseen Saboteur after Hecklebot because it's also disruption.
Sorry.
Sorry, that was kind of a dickish thing. Like, no, Dills, we'll talk about this.
Well, no, I mean, you're right.
I just think it goes together so well.
Card.
Unseen Saboteur is a 6-mana 5/6 epic neutral minion with a battle cry that reads, your opponent casts a random spell from their hand, targets chosen randomly. So I'm more excited about this than I am Hecklebot because I would rather interfere with your hand than I would just randomly from your whole deck.
Well, and the spells in your hand too, which are probably. I mean, sometimes this is gonna kind of fizzle, right? Like sometimes, a mage is just gonna arcane intellect or something, and be like, "Oh, cool! I just gave you 2 cards for free." But most of the time, I like the fact that it's a 6-mana 5/6, so it survives a lot of AOE. Right, so if you get them to cast the AOE, it's like maybe I can use this to protect a future board, things like that. But yeah, most of the time, what you're really trying to go for is combo pieces, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm using current meta, not future meta, which will probably not affect the same way. But I get the priest to cast the Mind Blast before they have Velen and Malagos on board, right? So there's all sorts of cool stuff that can happen here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like this card a lot.
It is literally Dirty Rat for spells. Speaking of the Dirty Rat idea, this is literally Dirty Rat for spells.
I wish they had just picked like a different animal, like Dirty Pig.
You're going to have to be careful with this card, though.
You're going to have to be really careful, because you could let the priest res 3 things for free. Yeah. You don't want to do that.
You give somebody like a 10-mana spell for free or something, that's game losing.
It should have been a Dirty Raven, because ravens have traditionally been a spell giver or something.
There you go.
That would have been fun. or like disheveled Raven. Geppetto Joybuzz, 8-mana 6/6 legendary neutral minion that has a battle cry that reads, draw 2 minions from your deck, set their attack, health, and cost to 1.
This card is sweet. This is another combo enabler.
I was really hoping that these cards would die in a fire. And here we are getting more of them.
Yep.
You could even, because their cost gets set to 1 alongside their attack and health, you could play him on turn 10 and play both the things you draw. So
Yep.
Yeah.
But then you'd have to that probably won't be a combo, just those 2 cards together. So, but you're right. Like, what if one of them is big bad Archmage and you got a 1-mana summon a 6/6 at the end of the turn? Like, there's things.
Yeah.
But I think most of the time people are going to be looking for like the Velen Malagos type things, right? Like put those 2 together and you suddenly deal a crap ton of damage. So that I am with you. Like, do we need all these sweet combo enablers? But if we're going to put all these disruptors, we better make it so the combo decks are even possible. Otherwise, what the hell am I disrupting?
We don't want the whole entire game to be aggro mid-range only.
And just like slow value control decks.
So it's nice to have some variety, and it's good to be able to disrupt things. So, yeah. But you need to make it still doable. So.
And of course, it's super slow. You got to pay 8 mana for this. It doesn't do anything the turn it's played necessarily, and. If you drew the minions that you wanted before you drew this, then you just don't it fizzles, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think it's got enough drawbacks and weaknesses that this is not going to be. I've seen some people be like, "Oh my god, this breaks everything," and I'm like, I don't know if that's necessarily true.
Yeah. It's just Malagos is still in standard, so I'm just sitting here going, I don't want to deal with this.
I like this better though than like a card like Barnes, right? This to me is
totally. You'll see
the way to do this type of effect, right? So make me pay a lot for it. Make it not happen in the early game.
Yeah.
You know, that's the correct way to do this.
You will hear no pushback from me. Barnes.
I don't think there's anything else interesting, is there?
No, that's more or less. Those are the big.
Actually, Hitch Clan Hogsteed we didn't talk about. That's probably the only other one that I think we'll probably see some play. It's a really good arena card, obviously, but a 2-mana kill something, leave a 1/1 behind.
Yeah, it's a 2-mana 2/1 with solid. Rush and a Death Rattle that gives you a 1/1 Murloc on the other side of it, and it's a beast.
Like you look at the fact that Keleseth is rotating out, and you think, okay, well now we're going to need 2 drops that actually do stuff. This seems like one that does stuff, right? So that Zoo deck I was talking about with the Grim Rally, this is fantastic for that card or for that deck, right? So I think this deck or this card will see play in lots of fun tempo-y style aggro decks and things.
Yeah, I hope to God it is that specific Murloc it leaves behind because it's such a good boy.
I hope so.
It is.
Those little buck teeth, so cute,
so great. I love when they draw buck teeth as a single tooth, like it's 2 teeth worth of tooth.
2 teeth worth of tooth.
2 teeth worth of tooth. Yeah, exactly. Again, I think it's more Matt Dixon art. So good stuff. Yeah, we skipped a couple, but we've done this in the past. Like, look, listen, folks, show's in 2 hours. It's good. We're good.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. Those other ones, you don't have to know about them. They're fine.
Go read them yourself. It's fine. Leave something for y'all. Leave something for y'all. So we don't know the exact plan for next week because I will be getting hot off a plane. So providing everything.
Also, it will be launch day.
It will be launch day. Yeah. So we're gonna have more cards to talk about. So what I'm saying is I'm traveling. We haven't made a plan yet. So there will be another episode next week. We will talk about the rest of the big cards that are revealed as we lead into the launch. But until then, just stay tuned for the next episode where we'll have actual plans ironed out. But that's going to wrap it up for this specific episode. So huge thanks to those of you supporting us over at patreon.com/TAC because you are the reason that we do longer episodes like this. So check it out, patreon.com/TAC. Whether you give $1, $5, $10, whatever works for you, it all helps. But around the table before we leave, Dills, you've been streaming quite a bit. Where can everybody find you?
Check me out, twitch.tv/WillieDills is where you can find me streaming. I will definitely be streaming on the 9th, basically all day. So come on by. Probably will be opening packs and doing streams and stuff. And on Twitter, I'm at WillieDills. And then on Thursday, if you are interested in Wild, that is something that tickles your fancy, I'm going to go on the Into the Wild podcast again with Danny Donuts and Saucy Mailman. And we'll also have Get Me Out, who's a really high level Wild player. And we're going to do a full set review only regarding Wild. So come on by for that if you want to check that out. I think it's happening at 8 Eastern, and it's probably going to be on Saucy Mailman's Twitch channel, I guess.
Next time you're on that...
That's the greatest name ever.
Yeah, next time you're on that
Saucy
show...
Mailman.
Next time you're on that show and it isn't a review episode, bring me on too. That sounds like fun. I've been enjoying Wild a lot.
They're super fun to chill with and great guys. So we've talked that they want to do something with us crossover-wise where we... maybe like play each other or something. I don't know. We'll have to discuss more.
Sounds good. Jocelyn, where can everybody find your work?
You can find me on Twitter and Twitch. I'm at Joss Plays. And actually, instead of like pimping something that I'm working on, I'm going to put a call out for anyone who plays Dead by Daylight because I have become obsessed with that game.
I play. Really? Yeah.
Nice.
It's a game you gotta play with other people, by the way. It's so much better with other people.
I've been totally playing solo on ladder as a survivor, and I love it. Oh
God, why? It's so frustrating.
I've just been so totally obsessed.
Oh, dude, we gotta do it.
Yeah, if anyone out there plays, like, tweet me, whatever. Just let me know because I need people to play with. I need people to teach me. I've been loving it.
So I have no frame of reference to this game. I know nothing about it, but I just Googled it, and the top piece of news from a day ago is that Ash from Evil Dead is being added, and that's all I needed to hear on buying this game.
Hell yeah.
It's so the basic concept of Dead by Daylight is that there's 1 killer and 4 survivors, and the survivors are trying to turn generators on to power an exit gate and get out of the arena before the killer kills them.
Yep.
It's so good.
Oh, so it's like a good version of the Friday the 13th game.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. Friday the 13th game sucks. This game is fun.
Okay, yeah, the Friday the 13th game was a little rough, which made me sad because they were clearly fans. Like there was so much like Friday the 13th like love in that game, but it just wasn't that great.
This game basically also just has Jason in it too, right? So I mean, it just has like all the killers.
It looks like there's Leatherface, or is it a knockoff
you got
Leatherface?
Leatherface. You got
there's some that are kind of like inspired by
They're
classic
loosely
horror
based.
killers, and then there's some that are actually licensed. So
This looks like
Amanda
Freddy Krueger is
in
straight up
there,
Freddy
and-
Krueger.
Yeah,
right?
Freddy's in there. Michael Myers is in there. Yeah.
Oh my God! How have I not heard about this until now? This is what happens when you're a Blizzard gamer, y'all. You
Sure.
get stuck
You miss all
under.
the-
We should all play this game. Yeah.
We should all play
we
this
should
game.
definitely all play this. But
Oh, wait.
anyways, the Dead by Daylight, my new obsession. So yeah, you guys should definitely get in there and play. And if anyone out there wants to play with me, then let me know in our TAC Discord and on Twitter, Joss Plays, whatever, anywhere and everywhere, because I feel like I'm going to be just playing the crap out of this, streaming the crap out of this. I love it.
So I will bargain with you. I will play Dead by Daylight with y'all if you all play auto chess with me.
Okay.
Fair trade.
I wanna draft an auto chess together. It just seems like really fun and
Yeah, that I think is what I need with auto chess. I need somebody to go, no, do this thing, because I'm just sitting there like, I don't know what to do.
I'll tell you, both Crip and Trump have really good kind of beginner tutorials on that
I
game.
did watch their stuff, but yeah. It's I don't know.
It is so unfriendly to new players. It is just like, F you don't know what to do. You have 30
I
seconds.
tried
Good luck.
watching some streams and I'm like, I don't even know what's happening right now. I'm just gonna go.
Just grab
I don't
warriors.
belong here.
Just grab all the warriors if it's your first game. Just grab all the warriors, throw as many as you can on the board, and hope for the best. And eventually you'll figure things out. But I'm Garrett Art on Twitter. All the podcasts I do can be found at amove.tv. There'll be an Into the Nexus this week. I will not be on it, but Kyle Ferguson will be holding down the fort with Jeff Kanata, talking about Heroes of the Storm, the dead game that just won't die. And also we do Enter the Apex. So if you want to hear about Apex Legends, go subscribe to Enter the Apex. That's going to do it. See you all later. Until next week, job's done.
Job's done.
Job's done.
Yes.